करके चर्चा की गई है, जिसमें एक बांस के माध्यम से जल को किसी ऊंचे स्थान पर ले जाकर के पुनः नीचे की ओर छोड़ा जाता है, और नीचे की ओर आता हुआ जल उस बांस में किए गए विविध छिद्रों के माध्यम से बाहर फव्वारे के रूप में बहुत सुंदर प्रकार से निकलता हुआ दिखाई पड़ता है। इतना ही नहीं, हाथी की मूर्ति बना करके उसकी सूंड में से जल का निर्गम दिखाने की चर्चा वहां प्राप्त होती है, जिससे उन धारा गृहों का सौंदर्य देखने लायक होता है। विविध प्रकार के सरोवरों की चर्चा, वापियों की चर्चा, जिसके विविध कोनों पर ऐसी सुंदर स्त्रियों की प्रतिमाओं का निर्माण करने की चर्चा प्राप्त होती है, जिनके नेत्रों से जल की धारा निकलती है, जिनकी नाभि से, स्तनों से, नखों से जल का निकास दिखाया गया है। तो ऐसी उत्तम वैज्ञानिक तकनीक उस समय भी उपलब्ध थी। इतना ही नहीं, सम्रांगण सूत्रधार में एक ऐसे स्नान गृह की चर्चा प्राप्त होती है, जिसमें स्नान करता जिस दिशा की ओर मुख करके जल की इच्छा करता है, उसी दिशा से उसको जल की प्राप्ति होती है। तो यहां पर नेत्रों के सेंसर की चर्चा है। आज का विज्ञान, हम देखते हैं कि हम द्वार के पास पहुंचते हैं तो वो सेंसर से स्वतः ही उद्घाटित हो जाता है। अगर हम जल के लिए नल के नीचे अपना हाथ ले जाते हैं तो वहां जल की उपलब्धता हो जाती है। और सम्रांगण सूत्रधार जो बहुत पुरातन ग्रंथ है, उसमें ऐसे स्नान गृह की चर्चा प्राप्त होती है, जिसमें नेत्रों के माध्यम से जल का सेंसर है। यदि स्नान करता पूर्व दिशा की ओर मुख करता है तो उसे पूर्व से ही जल की उपलब्धता प्राप्त होती है। यदि वह दक्षिण की ओर मुख करता है तो उसे दक्षिण से ही जल की उपलब्धता प्राप्त होती है। तो इतनी उत्तम तकनीक, इतना उत्तम वास्तु विज्ञान हमारे ग्रंथों में हमें प्राप्त होता है। और इसका प्रमाण जो मोहनजोदड़ो और हड़प्पा में जो साक्ष्य प्राप्त हुए हैं, उनमें भी उपलब्ध होता है। मोहनजोदड़ो में जो साक्ष्य प्राप्त हुए, उसमें लगभग 700 कूपों का साक्ष्य मिला है कि उस नगर में 700 प्रकार के कूप थे। वहां का जो जल निकास का प्रबंध है, जो प्रणाल है जल का, वह भी शास्त्रोक्त विधि से रचित प्राप्त होता है। क्योंकि शास्त्र में कहा कि जल के प्रणाल ढके हुए होने चाहिए, और वहां के भी जो जल निकास हेतु प्रणालों की रचना प्राप्त हुई, उसके साक्ष्य प्राप्त हुए, तो वह भी ढके हुए हैं। हो सकता है मोहनजोदड़ो और हड़प्पा से पूर्व भी वास्तु सम्मत अनेकों ग्रंथ उपलब्ध रहे हों, जिनको आधार मान करके उन नगरों की रचना की गई हो। नगर के विन्यास के लिए जो योजना है, कार्मुक नगरों की चर्चा, सर्वतोभद्र स्वस्तिक नगरों की चर्चा। स्वस्तिक नगर स्वस्तिकाकृति में बने हुए हैं। जो हमारा स्वस्तिक है, जिस आकृति का स्वस्तिक है, वैसी ही आकृति के नगरों का विन्यास, कार्मुक धनुषाकार नगरों का विन्यास। जो हमारा BHU है, बनारस हिंदू यूनिवर्सिटी, अगर हम उसको ऊपर से उसका नक्शा देखें तो वह धनुषाकार उसकी रचना हुई है, वो कार्मुकाकृति में बना हुआ है। तो ऐसे अनेकों प्रकार के उदाहरण हमें हमारे वास्तु शास्त्र के ग्रंथों में प्राप्त होते हैं। अगर हम मंदिरों की बात करें तो भव्य देवालयों की चर्चा प्राप्त होती है, जिनके गोपुर, जो प्रवेश द्वार है उसके ऊपर बने हुए गोपुर, जो मुख्य गर्भगृह है उसके ऊपर बना हुआ शिखर, इसके अतिरिक्त प्रतिमा का जो वाहन है, अगर शिवलिंग शिवालय है तो उसके बाहर जो नंदी है उसके नेत्रों का स्थान कहां तक होगा। जो गर्भगृह में प्रतिष्ठित प्रतिमा है उसके नेत्र, उनकी जो दृष्टि है वो कहां रहेगी, इतना सूक्ष्म चिंतन। प्रतिमा के नेत्रों का मान क्या होगा, नासिका का मान क्या होगा, हाथों का मान क्या होगा, हाथ की अंगुलियों का मान क्या होगा, ये सब विचार एक निर्धारित क्रम में किया गया है। ऐसे भव्य मंदिर हमें प्राप्त होते हैं जो किसी भी प्रकार की भव्य से भव्य बनी हुई जो बिल्डिंग है, इमारत है, उसको मात देते हैं। तो वास्तुशास्त्र एक वैज्ञानिक विषय है। हमारे संस्कृत वाङ्मय में अनेकत्र उसके उदाहरण प्राप्त होते हैं। समय की अल्पता के कारण उन विषयों को यहाँ विस्तार से रख पाना संभव नहीं है। तो मैं इतना कह करके, आपने मुझे अवसर दिया आपके बीच में आने का, मैं इसके लिए आपका हृदय से आभार व्यक्त करता हूं और इस सुंदर आयोजन के लिए आयोजकों को बधाई देता हूं और इतना कह करके अपनी वाणी को विराम देता हूं। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
महाभागा, धन्यवाद। आपने जो प्रेजेंटेशंस दिए, इसका कुछ टेक्स्ट एंड रेफरेंस वर्क्स को लिस्ट दे पाएंगे, माने कौन से वर्क्स अवेलेबल है इस पर्टिकुलर एरिया में?
जी, इसमें यह सब हमें सम्रांगण सूत्रधार एक वास्तुशास्त्र का ग्रंथ है, उसमें ये प्राप्त होता है। जो नगरों की चर्चा है, सम्रांगण सूत्रधार और विश्वकर्मा वास्तुशास्त्र और मैं मतम, इन तीन ग्रंथों में नगर रचना के विन्यास के संबंध में, नगर ग्राम, क्योंकि वहां लगभग 20 प्रकार के नगरों की चर्चा है। नगरों का विस्तार कैसा होगा, कितने सहस्र, 2000 हाथ का नगर, उसकी एक अलग संज्ञा है। 2000 दंड का नगर, वहां पे जो नगर का परिमाप है वो दंड के अनुसार है। इसी प्रकार से 4000 दंड का नगर, 6000 दंड का नगर, 10,000 दंड के नगर तक की चर्चा है। और उन नगरों में कितनी जनसंख्या रहेगी यह भी पूर्व निर्धारित है। कोई नगर है उसमें 10,000 तक की जनसंख्या का विधान है, तो उसमें केवल 10,000 तक की जनसंख्या ही रहेगी। आज के हमारे महानगर है, चाहे वह दिल्ली हो, मुंबई हो, बेंगलोर हो, उनकी सबसे बड़ी समस्या यही है कि वो ओवर क्राउडेड है। हम वहां जितना उनके ऊपर भार होना चाहिए, हर व्यक्ति दिल्ली की ओर, हर व्यक्ति मुंबई की ओर, हर व्यक्ति बेंगलोर की ओर भागता है। जितनी भी नई रचनाएं होती हैं, कुछ हॉस्पिटल्स बनेंगे वो इन महानगरों में बनेंगे, जो भी नया विन्यास होगा, परंतु प्राचीन काल में शास्त्र ने यह अनुमति नहीं दी है। एक नगर की पूर्व रचना हुई है प्लान्ड वे में, उसमें जितनी जनसंख्या पहले से निर्धारित की गई है केवल उतनी ही जनसंख्या रहेगी। अगर हमें उससे अधिक लोगों के विन्यास हेतु व्यवस्था करनी है तो उसके लिए एक नए नगर की परिकल्पना की गई है। यही कारण है कि प्राचीन कालीन नगर अपनी भव्यता को संभाल के रखने में सक्षम रहे। तो आप इन ग्रंथों में नगर संबंधित विन्यास को प्राप्त कर सकते हैं। मंदिर विन्यास से संबंधित प्रमुख रूप से प्रासाद मंडनम, अपराजित पृच्छा, राजवल्लभ वास्तुशास्त्रम, इन ग्रंथों में मंदिर निर्माण के सिद्धांतों की प्रमुख रूप से चर्चा प्राप्त होती है।
Thank you, Professor. It was good. It was nice listening to you. Anybody, one question? Anyone? Online, offline? आप में से किसी को क्वेश्चन तो नहीं है?
Namaste. Can I ask?
Lakshmi ji, please go ahead.
Yes.
Introduce yourself. Introduce yourself.
My name is Lakshmi. My name is Lakshmi. I'm a research scholar from Chinmaya Vishwavidyapith Ernakulam. My question regarding this particular presentation, it was actually a very eye-opening presentation. I had a chance to go through Mayamatham, and there they have given the formulations to prepare the material to create a base for the buildings. Now that we have those kind of calculations and kind of formulations that are available to us, I just would like to know if there has been any recent instance where these have been put to use and any buildings have been constructed, so that we actually will get to know how valid these formulations are. Thank you.
हाँ, आपने ये पूछा कि जो आज के समय में क्या उन सिद्धांतों का अनुप्रयोग कुछ मंदिरों में हुआ है क्या? तो निश्चित रूप से आप अक्षरधाम जो दिल्ली में है उसको देख सकते हैं। अक्षरधाम दिल्ली का ही नहीं, अपने जितने भी अक्षरधाम भारत में बने हैं उन सब में आपको वही सिद्धांत प्राप्त होंगे। जो गर्भगृह है उसका आप निर्माण देख सकते हैं, उदुम्बर को देख सकते हैं। जो गर्भगृह का मुख्य द्वार है उसके नीचे की जो देहली है उसके निर्माण तक की चर्चा जो हमें ग्रंथों में प्राप्त होती है वही वस्तुतः हमें उन मंदिरों में भी प्राप्त होती है। अगर हम सर्वे करें तो हमें निश्चित रूप से वो प्राप्त होंगे। जो नए मंदिर बन रहे हैं जिनमें वास्तु सिद्धांतों की प्रयोग नहीं है वो एक अलग विषय है, परंतु अधिकतर प्राचीन मंदिरों में वही सिद्धांत हमें प्राप्त होते हैं और हम उनका प्रयोग आज के समय में भी कर सकते हैं।
Thank you. Thank you. That's good enough. Yeah, that's good enough. Anybody else?
श्रीमन् नमस्ते, अहम् अस्मि भुवनेश्वरी।
कुत्रतः भुवनेश्वरी मैडम?
चेन्नैतः वदामि अहम्। Sir, when you were speaking, you were saying something about Nandyavartagirihi.
जी।
Anything special about that, or what is the shape, or what is so peculiar about it?
जी,
अभी तक नहीं सुना है इसीलिए पूछ रही हूँ मैं।
जी 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 जी। तो इसमें देखिए पद्मक नगर है, सर्वतोभद्र है, कार्मुक है, स्वस्तिक है, ऐसे ही नंद्यावर्त जल नगर की चर्चा है। नंद्यावर्त जल नगर है जो जल से आवृत होता है चारों तरफ से, जो जल के मध्य में जिसका विन्यास किया जाए। आज के समय में आप इसको आइलैंड कह सकते हैं, एक ऐसा द्वीप कह सकते हैं जो हमें प्राप्त होते हैं, द्वीप, लघु द्वीप, जिसमें चारों तरफ जल हो, तो ऐसा नगर है।
इसका शेप स्वस्तिक के जैसे ही होता है क्या, कुछ भिन्न होता है क्या?
हाँ, स्वस्तिक के जैसा तो नहीं होता, स्वस्तिक के जैसा स्वस्तिक नगर का ही होता है। हाँ, इसका शेप सर्वतोभद्र, चार पांच प्रकार के ही शेप्स हैं, जिनमें चतुरस्र है, हाँ, और सर्वतोभद्र है, वृत्ताकार है, वृत्तायताकार है, जो गोल भी है और लंब गोल है। लंब गोल है वो वृत्तायताकार है। एक वृत्ताकार नगर है और एक चतुरस्र नगर है जो बिल्कुल समचौरस है। आयताकार नगर की चर्चा है, वर्गाकार नगर की चर्चा है। तो नंद्यावर्त एक सर्वतोभद्र नगर जैसा है जो समचतुरस्र है और जल के मध्य में इसका विन्यास होता है।
बहुत धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद। धन्यवाद। नेक्स्ट स्पीकर इन द सीरीज। थैंक यू वेरी मच प्रोफेसर।
सर, Mrs. Momita Bose. Astrology in Sanskrit text.
Momita, you are here? Yeah. Go ahead.
हाँ, मेरा नाम मोमिता घोष है। हम पश्चिम बंगाल से डॉक्टर बी आर अम्बेडकर शतवार्षिकी महाविद्यालय से आए हो। यहाँ पे उपस्थित सभी विद्वान जनों को और आयोजक को मेरा प्रणाम है। और यहाँ पर मेरा जो विषय है वह नवग्रह के, ज्योतिष में जो नवग्रह है उसके नवग्रह के साथ उसमें यज्ञ साधना के बारे में हम बताएंगे। इसके पहले हम बोल रहे हैं तो भूमिका के रूप से सर प्रेजेंटेशन नहीं करना है क्या? बोल सकते हैं? अब बोल रही हूँ। हमने ज्योतिष में जो नवग्रह के बारे में पाया जाता है, तो यहाँ पर हमने पहले इस नवग्रह के पहले के बाद में बताया जाए तो हमारे नारद पुराण के अनुसार ज्योतिष शास्त्रों के ज्ञान ब्रह्म नारद से प्राप्त हुआ है और ज्योतिष विद्या व आत्मविद्या भारत में ज्ञान चर्चा के ऋग्वेद से प्राप्त होता है। ज्योतिष वेद पुरुष का चक्षु स्वरूप है। हम देखते हैं वस्त्रांगों के बारे में बताया गया है। ज्योतिषामायनम पाणिनि शिक्षा में ज्योतिषामायनम चक्षुर निरुक्तम सतम उच्यते। और विविध शास्त्रों में हम देखें तो जैमिनी और जैमिनी द्वारा जैमिनी सूत्र, बराहमिहिर का भी हज जाता है, इन सभी ग्रंथों में ज्योतिष शास्त्र के बारे में पाया जाता है। तो यहाँ पे सूर्य और गर्मी है और चंद्रमा ठंडी ग्रह है, और सूर्य चैतन्य और चंद्रमा हमारा विचारों को दर्शाता है। और यहाँ पे एक उदाहरण को दे करके हमने समझाना चाहते हैं कि आत्मानाम रतिनाम वृद्धि शरीरं रथम वृद्धि तो सारथिं विद्धि मानव प्रत्यम वचा इंद्रियाणि हयानाहुर विषयस्तेषु गचनान आत्म इंद्रियाणि युक्तम वृत्त आहुर मनुष्यनः। तो रथ मनुष्य का हमारा जो पंचभौतिक शरीर है, बस शरीर में घर से ज्ञानेंद्रिय से हमारा जो अंतःकरण बस चंद्र ग्रहों के निमित्त चंद्र ग्रह से चलते हैं, और हमारा जो शरीर इंद्रियों हमारा इधर उधर चली जाती है, वो इंद्रियों गण को हम मन के वशीभूत करते हैं। तो अगर हम ज्योतिष शास्त्र के अंदर जाए तो ज्योतिष के अनुसार अगर सूर्य देव के बारे में बताया जाए तो सूर्य है आत्मा की तरह। हमारा गीता में कहा गया है कि हम इंद्रियों से हमारा मन श्रेष्ठ, मन से हमारा विवेक श्रेष्ठ, विवेक से हमारा आत्मा श्रेष्ठ। तो हमारा इंद्रियों को वशीभूत करने के लिए हमें मन हमारा इंद्रियों को चालित करता है, और मन को विवेक के अंदर चलता है, और वो जो मन है वो चंद्र है, और हमारा जो विवेक है वो बुध से देखा जाता है, और हमारा जो अंतःकरण, हमारा जो आत्मा है उसको हमारा सूर्य से देखा जाता है, आत्मकारक सूर्य से। अगर हम योग के बारे से बताया जाए तो योग के क्या कहा गया, योग में मतलब जुजी योग है। योग है हमारा जो परमात्मा के साथ जीवात्मा का जो मिलन, वो योग है। तो परमात्मा के साथ हमारा मिलन तब हो सकते हैं जब आप अंतःकरण के भगवान को बैठा सकते हैं। तो अगर अंतःकरण में भगवान को बैठाने के लिए हम हमारे जो ध्यान के मार्गों में बताया गया अष्टांग जो कि अन्यतम तो प्रत्येक तनुता धनम, तो वहां पे आने से पहले अष्टांग को जो कि अगर पहले जीवन के बारे में बताया जाए तो जीवन में क्या बताया गया है, अहिंसा सत्य अस्त्य अपरिग्रह। तो यहाँ पे जो अहिंसा है, सत्य है, लिखा हो चुका हूँ एक बार। यहाँ पे हमारा श्रीमद् भगवद गीता के अनुसार कहने के बाद हमारे जग में अष्टांग योग का मिलता है। उनमें से पहला है योग, जहाँ पर हमारा बहिरिंद्रियों का निग्रह किया जाता है, अहिंसा सत्य अस्त्य ब्रह्मचर्य अपरिग्रह। अगर हम नवग्रह के बारे में बताया जाए तो सूर्य नियम निष्ठा को दर्शाता है, चंद्र अंतःकरण को ठीक नहीं रहेगा तो हमारा काम कैसे पूरा होगा, हमारा अंतःकरण चंद्र से नियंत्रित होता है। और विवेक हमें अंतःकरण को ठीक रखता है, वो बुध का आवश्यकता है। और उसके साथ बृहस्पति के बारे में बताया जाए तो हम अंतःकरण पर जब बृहस्पति का दृष्टि पड़ता है, तब कुंडली में अगर चंद्र पर बृहस्पति का दृष्टि रहे तो अमृत होता है। और अगर ध्यान के मार्गों पर चले जाने के बारे में बताया जाए तो धन हमें ईश्वर के परमात्मा के मिलन की इच्छा तब होता है जब हम वैश्विक इच्छा को हम त्याग देते हैं। जब वैश्विक इच्छा के बारे में बताया जाए तो सांसारिक भोग वासना को त्यागने के बारे में है, तो उस सांसारिक भोग वासना को त्याग करने के लिए तो हमारे अंतःकरण में विराग होने की जरूरत है। वो वैराग को आता है किस ग्रह से, वो आता है शनि से आता है। शनि एक न्यायप्रिय ग्रह है, और शनि हमारा अंतःकरण में संसार से वैराग को उत्पादन करता है। अगर मन पर शनि का दृष्टि पड़ता है तो उसके अंदर संसार से पर वितृष्णा जागृत होता है। तो इसलिए हम देखते हैं योग मार्गों में जो के बारे में बताया गया, तो उनमें से पहले जो पांचवा है उनमें वो तो सब लोगों ने कर सकते हैं, पर उसके अंतिम में जो ध्यान धारणा समाधि है उनको केवल साधु को ही कर सकते हैं। बस साधु तभी कर सकते जब शनि और केतु का प्रभाव रहता है। अगर उसके नियम के मार्गों में बारे में बताया जाए तो वहां पे भी शौच, संतोष, तपो, स्वाध्याय, ऋषभ परिधान। यहाँ पे हमारा शौच, संतोष, हमारा संतोष तब होता है जब बृहस्पति का प्रभाव, बृहस्पति हमें संतुष्टि दान करता है। और उसके साथ तप, अगर तपो के बारे में बताया जाए तो तप में क्या होता है, हमारा अंतःकरण में जो तप मतलब किच्छ सदन तब आता है जब परिश्रम करने का, कठोर परिश्रम करने का तब होता है जब हमारा कर्मों भाव पर शनि का प्रभाव रहता है, कर्मों में स्ट्रांग होता है, नियम निष्ठा से हम काम कर पाते हैं जब उसमें सूर्य का प्रभाव रहता है। इन सबको देखा जाता है। और योग मार्गों में चलने के लिए तो तप होना तो बहुत जरूरत पड़ता है। और इसके साथ साथ इसके साथ साथ तब के बाद स्वाध्याय का अध्ययन हमारा जो ब्रह्म योगों के बारे में भी बताया जाता है। तो स्वाध्याय के बारे में अगर बताया जाए तो अध्ययन के लिए हमें एकाग्र होना की जरूरत पड़ता है। हमें मन का एकाग्र, वो एकाग्रता, एक काम पे स्थिर रहना, बस शनि तो मंद्रगामी ग्रह है। शनि जब हमारा मन पर जब शनि का दृष्टि पड़ता है तब देखा जाता है, जब वो एकाग्र लेकर के वहां पे देखा जाता है कि शनि अगर बोली होना जरूरत है, तुला राशि में होना जरूरत है, अपनी राशि में होना भी जरूरत पड़ता है, तो देखा जाता है वो व्यक्ति जो मार्ग में बहुत सफल तक जा सकता है। और उसके बाद ईश्वर परिधान तो वो भक्ति मार्गों में होता है। हम श्रीमद् भगवद गीता के बहुत सारे मार्ग मिलते हैं, वहाँ पे निष्काम कर्मों के बारे में बताया गया है, ध्यान योग के बारे में बताया गया है। अगर भक्ति मार्गों में हम भगवान का अंतःकरण में बैठाने के लिए पूरी तरफ से हमारे मन का अंतःकरण ईश्वर के शब्द समर्पित करने के लिए, इस सब पर व्याकुलता आने के लिए, तो हमारा अंतःकरण पे बृहस्पति का बहुत जरूरत है। जो बृहस्पति ज्ञान का मार्गों को दिखाते हैं, और हमारा मन ठीक नहीं रहेगा तो हम कभी विषय से हटा करके मन को नहीं रख सकते। और उसके साथ साथ ईश्वर को निधान की बात अगर हम देखते हैं, आसन प्राणायाम के बारे में अगर बताया जाए तो वहां पे आसन प्राणायाम के लिए हर ग्रह का जो नकारात्मक प्रभाव रहता है उसको अनुलोम विलोम किया जा सकता है, विस्त्रिकासन किया जा सकता है, सूर्य का प्रणाम मंत्र जाप किया जा सकता है, वहाँ पे गायत्री मंत्रों को पाठ किया जा सकता है। सूर्य के गायत्री मंत्र बहुत फलदायी होता है।
Maumita, can you hear me? Maumita, can you hear me? Maumita,
हाँ सर बताइए।
सुन पाने से आपका टॉपिक है एस्ट्रोलॉजी इन संस्कृत टेक्स्ट्स।
हाँ सर।
एस्ट्रोलॉजी
सर हमारा 6 नंबर का टॉपिक था, भारतीय ज्योतिष शास्त्र 6 नंबर का टॉपिक था, ज्योतिष में नवग्रह योग साधना, और हमारा दोबारा हो गया था, इसलिए शायद हो गया है। हमारा टॉपिक 6 नंबर का था सर।
क्या टॉपिक था?
हमारा टॉपिक था जो नवग्रह है, इस नवग्रह हमारा जो अष्टांग योग है, इस योग के साथ उसका जो संबंध हम उनको बताना चाह रही थी।
अच्छा, कंक्लूजन की तरफ 2 मिनट में कंक्लूजन बताइए।
हम यहाँ पे यही बताना चाहते हैं कि हमारा जो कुंडली, वो कुंडली कैसे निर्मित होता है। हमारा कुंडली वैसे ही निर्मित होता है जब हम लग्न क्या है, जब हमारा जन्म होता है वह पूर्व क्षितिज में जो उदित होता है, पूर्व क्षितिज में जब उदित होता है उस टाइम और स्थान के मामले से ही हमारा कुंडली निर्धारण होता है। और उनके साथ साथ अगर कोई अष्टांग योग के मार्गों में जाते हैं, अष्टांग योग दर्शन जो हमारा संस्कृत टेस्ट के अंदर योग दर्शन का योग दर्शन है, तब वो अष्टांग योग के साथ हमने जो इसको दिखाने का हमें एम होता है कि हमारा जिंदगी में कुंडली में जो हमारा जिंदगी में जो समस्या होता है नवग्रह से, वो हम योग के मार्ग से कैसे निकल सकते हैं। हम जब कैसे प्राणायाम कर सकते हैं, हम किस प्राणायाम करने से हमें ये प्रॉब्लम को हम कैसे हमारे ध्यान करने से, गायत्री मंत्र जप करने से हमारा समस्या को दूर कर सकते हैं। जब हम समस्या पूरी तरह से दूर नहीं कर सकते पर हम उनको कमा सकते हैं। और हमने ज्योतिष हमें वो विज्ञान को देता है कि हम हमारा जिंदगी में समस्या को दुष्प्रभाव से निकलने के लिए हमने योग के जो मार्गों है, उस मार्गों को हमने व्यवहार करके हमारा ग्रहों का दुष्प्रभाव से हम खुद को निकल सकते हैं। और यही विभिन्न ग्रहों का विभिन्न तरफ से मार्गों को देखा जा सकता है। ध्यान मार्ग दिया सकता है, और ध्यान जॉब करने से बहुत समस्या का समाधान कर सकते हैं। और धनुरासन का विविध आसन और ओम मंत्र प्रणव जप, और हमारा अंतःकरण को हम शुद्ध कर सकते हैं, प्रायश्चित कर सकते हैं, हम ईश्वर को समर्पण कैसे कर सकते हैं, इन सब के बारे में हम बताने की कोशिश किया।
थैंक यू मौमिता। मौमिता घोष, थैंक यू। आप ये बताइए, एक मेरा सिंपल क्वेश्चन है, अष्टांग योग, पतंजलि के अष्टांग योग में कुंडली का कोई चर्चा है क्या? पतंजलि का अष्टांग योग में कुंडली के बारे में कहीं उल्लेख है क्या? तो कौन से सूत्र में, कहाँ?
हाँ, अगर योग दर्शन के बारे में बताया जाए तो वहाँ पे कुंडली जागरण के बारे में बताया गया है। तो हमारे अंदर में 7 चक्रों रहता है ना, मूलाधार।
आप मौमिता ऐसा लेक्चर देने से रिसर्च नहीं चलता है। पतंजलि योग सूत्र के टेक्स्ट में कुंडली के बारे में प्रस्ताव है क्या? पातंजल योग दर्शन में कहीं कुंडली के बारे में प्रस्ताव है क्या? आपने टेक्स्ट पढ़ा, पूरा सूत्र पढ़ा है क्या?
हमें कुंडलिनी चक्र के बारे में मिला है। हमारा कुंडली चक्र जागरण से हम हमारा ग्रह प्रभाव से
फिर
निकल सकते हैं।
मौमिता आपको ठीक आंसर करना सीखिए। आप क्या करते क्या है? आप रिसर्च स्कॉलर है?
तो हम असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर की जॉब करते हैं।
असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर है तो स्ट्रेट आंसर करिए। पातंजलि योग
हमें
दर्शन का
अभी तक नहीं मिला
सूत्रों
है।
में है क्या? अब बाहर के कॉफी टेबल डिस्कशन होगा, कॉफी टेबल में कोई बोला कुंडली है, कुंडली नहीं है, ये कॉफी टेबल हुआ, रिसर्च नहीं हुआ। असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर है तो टेक्स्ट में है क्या? पातंजलि योग दर्शन को आपने रेफर किया।
अपने जो कुंडली के बारे में सर बोल रहे हैं, कुंडली मतलब हमारा जिंदगी का भविष्य बनने का जो कुंडली, वो हमें नहीं मिलते।
क्वेश्चन है अच्छा, एनीबडी एल्स? और मौमिता जी आपका और में कहीं पे भी रेफरेंसिंग नहीं है, प्रॉपर टेक्स्ट रेफरेंसिंग नहीं है, और ऐसा नहीं, ऐसा भाषण देने से पेपर थोड़ी ही बनेगा। प्रॉपर रेफरेंसिंग चाहिए था, टेक्स्ट रेफरेंसिंग चाहिए था। एनीवे, इट्स ऑल राइट। एनीबडी हैज अ क्वेश्चन? यू वांट टू आस्क?
नमस्ते, नमो नमः महोदय। मैं विश्वेश्वर दास बोल रहा था। आप वो जो बृहस्पति घर में थोड़ा बोल रहे थे, मतलब बृहस्पति की स्थिति किस मनुष्य पर कैसा प्रभाव पड़ता है, मन का कैसा प्रभाव पड़ता है, ईश्वर की आस्था के प्रति कैसा प्रभाव पड़ता है, कृपया और थोड़ा विस्तृत वर्णन करिए। इसीलिए टॉपिक छूट गया था ना, कृपया वही बोलिए।
अपने हमें बृहस्पति के बारे में पूछ रही है।
हाँ हाँ, आप बोल रहे थे कुछ बृहस्पति का जैसा दशा चल, मतलब दशा क्या, जैसे ग्रह का प्रभाव पड़ता है मनुष्य के मन पे, जिस तरह भगवान के प्रति भक्ति का भाव पड़ता है, आप उसमें भी कुछ
हमने भक्ति भाव के बारे में वहाँ पे बताए हैं। हम इसलिए बोल रहे हैं कि हमारा जब ध्यान करते हैं तब हम तो साकार और निराकार दो रूप में कर सकते हैं, पर हमारा जो साकार रूप से करना, भगवान को नाम रूप से उसको लीला को कीर्तन कर सकते हैं। और उसके लिए हमारा जो पूजा, हमारे पूजा दी, प्रायश्चित, व्रतो, इन सभी को हम बृहस्पति से जुड़ा जाता है। अगर हम कुंडली के हमारा जो कुंडली जन्म पत्रिका है, वहां पे अगर अष्टम भाव में या द्वादश भाव में अगर बृहस्पति रहता है, तो हमें देखा जाता है कि वो व्यक्ति के अंदर आध्यात्मिक मार्गों के बहुत दूर जाते हैं और वह आध्यात्मिक के मोक्षों की तरफ वो जाने की कोशिश करता है। और बृहस्पति के में बहुत मायने रखते, बृहस्पति ज्ञान का ग्रह है, और वो जब द्वादश भाव के साथ उसका जब समन्वय होता है तब इस फल बहुत ज्यादा मिलता है, क्योंकि भक्ति मार्गों से वही बहुत ज्यादा फल देता है।
Thank you, Vishweshwar ji. Thank you. And the third speaker, we are going for the third speaker, Pravesh Vyas. आप है प्रवेश जी, astronomy and astrology in Sanskrit texts. Pravesh is available. नहीं है ना? See, everybody else, I request you to mute, please. Everybody will mute your mics. Please mute your mics, everybody. Yeah, Rupa Vijay. Rupa Vijay, you are available.
Please turn on your mic.
Yes, sir.
Madam, please, 10 minutes. सारभूत रूपेण संक्षिप्त रूपेण वक्तव्यं भवेत्.
Can I share the screen, sir?
Yes. Okay. Screen sharing allow करो मैडम. मैडम शेयर करिए. Now you can do. Now you can share, please. Unmuted है. Yes. And yeah, good. Madam, now you can share. Madam, आप शेयर कर सकते
चंद्रमा
हैं।
सूर्य आपको प्रत्यक्ष दृष्टि से दिखते हैं आकाश में, तो ये शास्त्र प्रत्यक्ष है। इसके बाद हम देखते हैं कि ज्योतिष शास्त्र आकाश में अस्त व्यस्त रूप से रात्रि में ठीक
टेक्नोलॉजी इतना परेशान करता है। मैडम रूपा विजय, प्रवेश जी आपका पेपर बाद में करेंगे, आप सुन पाते हैं? रूपा विजय मैडम प्लीज, आप है अवेलेबल है? डॉक्टर रूपा विजय, आर यू अवेलेबल? No, I don't know. Unmute करिए मैडम रूपा विजय। अनम्यूट हर, अनम्यूट करना मैडम को।
Hello, sir.
मैडम प्लीज स्टार्ट।
I think it was not possible to share the screen.
Please
So I'll
present.
just, yeah. I couldn't share the screen, sir.
No problem. Please go ahead.
Rethinking of Rahu and Ketu.
Yeah.
Good evening, everybody. Rethinking of Rahu and Ketu as the deities in Jyotisha and their significance in eclipses. I am Rupa Vijay, a research scholar from Karnataka Sanskrit University. In many temples, one can see the Navagraha deities in a special shrine, and Nava means 9 and Graha means choosing or holding. The Navagraha refers to the 9 celestial bodies which are near the earth, and according to Jyotisha Shastra, they contain the deities that influence the human life on earth. These include the 5 planets which can be seen, that is Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, the Sun and the Moon, and also the shadow planets, Rahu and Ketu. This paper is a theoretical as well as a Rashi Chakra analysis with the objective of analyzing opinions on Rahu and Ketu in legends, Jyotisha, and their reference Panchanga and their reference as the lunar nodes. Centuries ago, Devas and Asuras churned the Sri Rasivara using the snake Visuki. Vishnu in the Kurma Avatara had held the mountain used for churning. When the pot of Amrita, the elixir of immortality, appeared, Vishnu took the female form of Mohini and started distributing the Amrita to the Devas. However, one of the Asuras, Swarabhanu, sat in the row of the Devas and drank the Amrita. Surya and Chandra noticed him and they informed Mohini. Swarabhanu had already become immortal. Vishnu, as Mohini, cut off Swarabhanu's head with Sudarshana Chakra. During the Mohini episode, the snake used for churning, Naga Vasuki, also secretly drank the Amrita, which was for the Devas, and became immortal. Vishnu cut the Sudarshana Chakra into 2. Cut the serpent into 2 with the Sudarshana Chakra. Then it was decided that the head called Rahu would have the tail of the serpent and the body called Ketu would have the head of the serpent. So they were placed in 2 specific points in the sky and told to protect the world. This story is in Mahabharata and Brahmanda Purana. It is found, but Rahu, there is no direct scientific fact in this, only about Rahu and Ketu. After that, Rahu and Ketu, as in Jyotisha, it is believed that they have a tremendous impact on human lives and also the whole of creation. In some special circumstances, it helps someone to achieve fame. In some, they bring hindrance, loss, and obstacles in physical life, but show that the spiritual aspect is more profound than the material aspect. They have both positive and negative aspects. To find the Gochara Phala, Rahu and Ketu are considered only as malefic planets or Papagriha. In order to remove the bad effects, the following methods are used, like Vrata, Puja, Homa, Ratnadharana, food and dana to Brahmins, mantras are recited, and so on. Happiness of the graha leads to happiness of the person as possible. Now, there are matter in Brihad Jataka and also in Lagu Jatakam, Grahabaladhyaya. Then there is also matter in Brihad Parashara Hora Shastra. There is matter on Paladipika and Muhurta Chintamani and so on, where they are talking about various like his appearance, whatever the Griha Vishayaka Sarini tells, like what are the friendly grihas and Shatru, Mitra and Sama to this one, and various other aspects are told, which are not directly scientific, except that the 18 years rotation cycle is mentioned, and Rahu and Ketu as lunar nodes. Rahu is considered as the ascending node and Ketu as the descending node. And also in Panchanga, there is definite information about this. About Surya Grahana Vichara, Asmin Varshe, Tarik so and so, Vasare so and so, Amavasi and so Nakshatre or Rashyav, Ketuna Chadita, Grastasta, Suryoparagaha. The Sparsha, Madhya, Mokshakala, Suryasta and Adyanta Punyakala is mentioned. In case of Chandra Grahana Vichara, again same type, Asmin Varshe, Tarik so and so, Vasare so and so, Purnima so and so, Nakshatre so and so, Rashyav, Ketuna Chadita or Rahuna Chadita, Grasta Daya, Somoparagaha, Svashakala, Nimilanakala, Madhyakala, Unmilanakala, Mokshakala, and Chandrodaya Kala, Adyanta Punyakala are mentioned. This is with respect to various locations, and the rules of Grahana and Shloka are to be recited is also mentioned. And as lunar nodes are points at which the orbit of the moon intersects the ecliptic. The ascending node where the moon moves to the northern ecliptic hemisphere, and while the descending node, that is to the south of the node, where the moon enters the southern ecliptic hemisphere. And the Earth is considered as the center, and it is assumed that the sun and the moon's path are intersecting in 2 points. That is, one is the ascending node and the descending node. In the case of eclipses, the Earth revolves around the sun in an elliptical orbit, and moon revolves around the Earth in an elliptical orbit, and there is a 5-degree tilt of the moon's orbit. There are times when the shadow of the moon caused by the sun falls on the Earth. The shadows have 2 parts, that is the lighter penumbra and the darker umbra region. Based on the shadow type and magnitude, lunar eclipses are caused of 3 types, that is total, partial and penumbral. The moon itself comes in between the sun and the Earth, causing the solar eclipse. Based on the type of the shadow, solar eclipses are of 4 types: total, partial, annular and hybrid. Sometimes the shadow of the moon doesn't fall on the Earth. Mostly it doesn't fall on the Earth. That's why otherwise every new moon would have a grahana. It only falls about, sometimes it is 2 per year or 3 per year, 4 per year, or even 5. It can range to 5 because about 346 days is the eclipse year. And one more can happen between 346 to 365 and 1/4 day. So there's a possibility of maximum 5 eclipses per year. And I have considered this Rashi Chakra and drawn this, Rashi Chakra, where, so one example has been taken. Guru and Rahu is in Mesha, and the thing is in Shaba. Mithuna, Kuja is there, and Karka and Simha doesn't have anything. The is in Kanya, Simha Kanya, and Guru, Surya, Chandra, Shukra, Ketu are in Tula. Where is it covering? It is covering. So I'm trying to show the Surya, Chandra and Ketu are in Tula, and Shani is in Makara, and Meena has Guru and Lagna. So Rahu and Ketu will always be directly 180 degrees, perfect 180 degrees. And Surya and Chandra, in case of they will be always together in case of lunar eclipse, I mean solar eclipse. And in case of lunar eclipse, they will also be around 180 degrees to each other. I have arrived at it by taking up some 8 or 10 cases, and I have considered the angular positions of Graha as in the latitudes as well as the longitude. And I have also found that considering these particular dates of solar eclipse which was seen from Bangalore, I have considered and found that the angular horizontal distance between the sun and the moon, in some cases it is, generally in case of solar eclipse, it is 0 degree and 6 minutes, 0 degree 2 minutes, 0 degree 2 minutes, and 0 degree 3 minutes in case of the solar eclipse. And Surya, Chandra, and Ketu were in one Rashi, and something similar has been happening. Now, in case of lunar eclipse, I have found that this was also considered what has been seen in Bangalore. And there, the angular horizontal distance between the sun and the moon is about 178 degree 46 minutes and 179 degree 59 minutes. Like this, some small variations are there to 180 degrees, that it is almost 180 degrees. The sun and the moon are at 180 degrees, and Earth is...
Madam, please conclusion बोल दीजिए. Time over.
Sir. Okay, sir. And conclusion. It is found that the angular horizontal distance between sun and the moon, as found by the astrologers, in case of solar eclipses, are 0 degree and 2 to 6 minutes. And in case of lunar eclipses, it is a few minutes close to 180 degrees. This shows that the center of the earth is in straight line with the centers of the sun and moon during maximum eclipse time. This also shows that Rahu and Ketu are very closely positioned to sun and moon at 180 degrees to each other, as well as in the same longitude as each other. It affects good and bad, shows Rahu and Ketu, though known as a Papa Graha, they are not always malefic, but they have certain benefits. And Rahu is supposed to create confusion, but in my opinion, they are knowledge givers, and people should put effort to study and pursue to clear off the confusion. Also, their positions in phase are influenced by scientific aspects related to the eclipse. Calculation of eclipses is done using the nodal points. So Rahu, Ketu are very significantly important. Astrology is not believed by some, but the study of the Grahana may throw light on various aspects of astrology that are scientific. Ancient literature in Sanskritam can lead to studies having a scientific outlook. Further study needs to be taken up, and people then people can find better results. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you so much.
Yes,
you
sir.
have completed within time, and it was a good paper. Anybody has an observation? One question. I will allow one question. Anybody wants to ask? You can also meantime you can put your question in the chat box also.
I'm sorry, I don't have a question for the recent presenter, but for the organizers, is it possible to allow the participants to share the screen? Because in some cases they may want to write something and then show something.
Dr. Lakshmi, we have allowed the participants to share the screen and multiple participants. But it may so happen that somebody is not able, and then there are technical issues, etc. But we have allowed everybody to share the screen.
Fair enough. Thank you.
Okay. Rupa Vijayji, thank you so much for your good paper. And then the next paper of the session.
I thank all the, I thank the organizers for giving me an opportunity to speak. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sir, so I have one question, madam.
Yes. Who is this?
Yeah, Namaste, Namo Namah. My name is Visheshwar Das. My question is that I have heard that taking the name of God during the eclipse has much more effect than other time, other period. Is it true?
Sir, I couldn't get your question, sir.
I've heard that myself, that the taking the name of God during the eclipse time has much more effect than the other time. If you chant the mantra also.
There are certain things they are saying during the eclipse time, like for example, the food will spoil more. And there are researchers saying certain things like this. But I have not personally read it or not gone so deep into it that I can confirmly say that this works or not. So I have not gone into so much of research in that. If I find it, I will, I mean, next time, sometime we can discuss.
Thank you so much.
That's
There are
the problem.
researchers saying certain things like
That is the problem area. Actually, it is very difficult to have data, whether it affects more. It is a subjective experience, you know, how one is chanting the name of the God, or how one is, in what state of mind one is in. So very difficult to prove that it will have more effect during the eclipses, and very difficult. These are all very subjective experiences. Therefore, in science, you go with the data, you go with what is provable. And that's where the difficulty is, you know. I don't know, anybody can answer that question. Thank you very much. We'll go to the next speaker. Dr. Pravesh, are you available again? Because last time you were speaking in between. Otherwise, Bhuneshwari ji is available.
Sir.
No. Yeah, Bhuneshwari ji, go ahead, please. 10 minutes. And your topic, is this correct topic? Vedic numerical coding.
Exactly. Vahi. Sir, shall I share my screen?
Yes.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Namas Papatipyascha, Sabhabhyascha.
We can't see now. Can you share still? We are not able to see the screen. Yes, it's working. Yeah, fine. We can see you.
One second.
Expand it full.
Just one second. Yeah, I'm doing it. Hope it's clear now.
This is good. This is good. Please go ahead.
Yes. Jyotisha is a Vedanga and one of the 6 auxiliary disciplines of Vedas. It emerged to satisfy the needs of fixing suitable time for performing sacrifices, rituals, which were all based on the movements of the sun, the moon, and other planets. Vedas thavati yajna karma pravrittaha yajnah proktas tetu kalashrayena shastra dasmat kalabodo yatasyat vedangatvam jyotishasyoktam asmat, says Siddhanta Shiromani. Vedas have advised to perform yajnas, and the yajnas have to be performed in proper timings. Jyotisha helps us to calculate such proper timings of yajnas, and hence Jyotisham is one of the 6 Vedangas. Therefore, it becomes important to observe the movements of the sun, the moon, and their positions were to be calculated for fixing the right time for various religious rituals and sacrifices. Hence, lunar and solar astronomical calculations were given the most importance in ancient India. Vedahi yajnartam vipravritaha kalanupurvaha vihitascha yajnaha tasmat idam kalavidhana shastram yo jyotisham veda saveda yajnana, says Archa Jyotisham. All the Vedic mantras are intended for performing yajnas for the benefit of mankind, and yajnas and rituals depend on auspicious time to give best results, and hence one who learns Jyotisha is well versed in performing yajnas. And all these calculations of planetary motions involve large numbers, and it has to be passed over generations by oral documentation, and there was a necessity to express such large numbers as mnemonics in the form of verses or simple strings of words to remember them easily. Ancient Indian seers had devised many methods to provide the exact position of celestial bodies, and scriptures were not only praises of gods, but they contain many astronomical data encrypted in them. In ancient India, there were two major means of recording numerals as Sanskrit words. One is the Bhuta Sankhya system, another one is the Katapayadi system. Ancient Indian astronomers and mathematicians, they used this cryptic approach effectively as it offered them greater flexibility for their poetical constructions. The verses were highly condensed. They were given in the form of sutras. In this context, around the 4th century AD, Vararuchi, the legendary astronomer of Kerala tradition, composed a set of sentences called as Chandravakyas related to the positions of moon for 248 days using a unique alphanumeric system called Katapayadi system. The Katapayadi system, as we all know, is the alphanumeric system to depict numbers as letters for easy remembrance as words or as verses. As more than one letter is assigned the same numeral and the vowels are rendered valueless when preceded by consonants, this system provides a high level of flexibility in forming meaningful words by combining the consonants and the vowels, facilitating easy memorization of mnemonic verses. Vararuchi is considered as the progenitor of this Katapayadi numerical coding system, which is otherwise called as the Vedic numerical coding system, though we believe that, and it is argued that this system is in O from times immemorial. Nanya vachascha sunyani sankhyaha katapayadayaha mishretu upantya hali sankhya nachachintyo halaswaraha, says Shadratnamala of Shankara Varma. The definition of Katapayadi system is given in this. So it's a kind of many to one mapping. The letter Ka, Ta, Pa, and Ya, they or represent the number 1, and similarly Ka, Ka, Ki, Ki, all the vowels when combined with this consonant also gives the same number. So hence they had a more flexible. It was flexible for them to form meaningful words very easily. And these mnemonic devices written in the form of simple sentences with easy to remember words, which are called Vakya, were extremely accurate in describing the motions of heavenly bodies at the time of composition. In the context of astronomy, this kind of words, which are called as Vakya, refers to a phrase or a string of words in which the numerical values associated to various astronomical variables are encoded. They form meaningful sentences or phrases also. The moon computational system sentences or the Chandravakyas, they are mnemonic expressions which give the longitudinal positions of the moon in terms of the zodiac sign, the Rashi, the degrees, Amsha, and the minutes, Kala. They convey both astronomical and a cultural meaning. These sentences are independent of each other and they do not have any contextual sequence. Generally, the orientation and the shape of the moon's orbit, it is not fixed. The moon's orbit around the earth is elliptical with one side closer to earth than the other. So the distance between the moon and earth varies throughout the month of the year. The point on the moon's orbit, which is closest to earth, is called the perigee, and the point furthest to it is called as the apogee. It takes a longer time for the moon to return to the same position to its perigee or its apogee because it moves ahead during one revolution. And this longer period is called as the anomalistic month, which has an average length of 27.55 days. 9 such anomalistic months constitute a period of approximately 248 days. And the differences in the longitudes of the moon on these successive days of 248-day cycle, beginning with the day when moon's anomaly is 0, constitute the Chandravakyani or the Vararushi Vakyani or the Panchanga Vakyani as they are called. The exact Vakya for a particular day is calculated from the Kali day to that day using the formula which is encoded in the given verse here. Amita Yavot Sukhahinam Yugunam Rasagairikaihi Kulinangaihi Devendrairapi Hirtva Tachishtam Bhavati Vakya Sankendoho. This is the Chandravakya Viti. So the Dvigunam, the number of Kali days, Hinam, it has to be reduced by Amita Yavotsukaha. Here, this is represented as a Katapayadi number. Kritva, on dividing this by Rasagairika. It has to be divided by the number. Again, the Katapayadi system is used here. 1, 2, 3, 7, 2. Kulinangaihi. Again, the remainder has to be, continued division has to be performed with 3031 and Devendrai Rapi. Again, with the number 248, which represents Kendra Tachishtam. The remainder that is left out after all this, Bhavati Vakya Sankhya Indoho. That becomes the number to which it has to be referred to. Here is the calculation for this. And generally, these Chandravakyas has 3 to 6 syllables in them. The first 2 syllables of your Vakya represent the minute or the kala. The next 1 or 2, whatever is left, that represents the degree or the amsha. And the rest, if any, represent the zodiac sign. Otherwise, it is to be taken as 0 for Rashi. The completed Rashis are only represented, and each of the numbers representing the zodiac, the degree, the minutes are all to be read from right to left using the adage Ankanam Vamato Gatihi. So let us consider the first Chandravakya, which is Girana Shreyaha. It has 4 syllables in it. Girna Shreyaha. Okay, so it has 4 syllables. When deciphered, it gives a 0 for Rashi. Here is the decoding of it, 12 for degrees and 3 for minutes. It means that the moon is in the first Rashi at 13 degrees and at 3 minutes. And the letter La in the Chandravakyani, it has 2 different numerical values according to its place of articulation. The dental La represents the number 3 and the cerebral La, it represents the number 9. For example, in the 158 Chandravakya, it is Keshaste Kalaha. Here it is the cerebral La and hence it is decoded as the number 9. In the 188th Chandravakya, Dhuli Syat Ragnyoyam. Here it is the dental La, therefore it is decoded as the number 3. And the below verse gives the method to verify any errors in the letters of the Chandravakyas. Wherever we have a doubt, we can verify the letters of it. Bhavet sukasya rachinam ardham vakyam tu madhyamam adhivakyam upantyam cha bhavati iti bhavet sukam yatrapyakshara sandehas tatra samstapya devaram tadyet tadgata vakyani sishtam shodhyam bhavet sukam. Goes the verse. So, for example, let us consider the Vakya whose longitudinal position is half of what of Bhavet Sukam is the middle Vakya. So that represents the number Rama Yate. This is the middle one. Bhavet Sukam decodes to this. Each one, each of the Rashi, the Kala and the Amsha, they have to be reversed, Ankanam Vamato Gatihi, and then we have to take the number. So it gives a half of it will be 6 in Rashi, 13 in degree and 52 in minutes. And this corresponds to the 124th Vakya. So this is the middle sentence. Adding the longitudinal position of the first and the penultimate one gives the longitudinal position of the last sentence with its Bhavet Sukam. So the first one and the last one when added together, penultimate one, last but one. Girna Shreyaha comes to this one, 0, 12 and 3. And the last but one, Kave Shakyam, that comes to 0, 15 and 41. When you add them, we get the longitudinal position or the Bhavet Sukasya, the last sentence longitudinal position. It's a kind of verification here. Whenever there is doubt in the letters of the Vakya, we have to place it like this. Subtract the longitude of that string from 248, which is represented by the number Devaram, and find the longitude of the Vakya corresponding to the remainder. Adding the longitudes of the Vakya to be checked and the Vakya corresponding to the remainder, we get the longitudinal position of Bhavet Sukam. It is a kind of 1 and 247 will give you 248. Same is the longitudinal position also. So we can check it out whether it is, verify whether it is correct or not. Yes. And the words which are used in these Vakyas, which are couched in the Katapayadi system, they not only represent numerical values, but they also form beautiful, meaningful phrases and convey worldly wisdom and moral values too. For example, Girana Shreyaha, it means speech is wealth. Dhenava Shrihi, cows are our wealth. Dhyanam manyam hi. Meditation is to be honored. Jano manyo hi. So every man is to be treated with respect. Jiranaha me kayaha. My body is perishable or it is mortal. So it also forms some beautiful phrases, sentences also. And they have some cultural meaning also. So Vararuchi's Chandravakyas are of great importance. And there are many other astronomical treatises. Yes, I'll make it up. I'll make it up. Yes, I'll make it up. Yes, yeah. Yes, there are many other astronomical treatises which have used this Katapayadi system extensively. The first known text to use this Katapayadi Chandravakyas is the Haridatta's manual on his Parahita system in the well-known book called Grahachara Nibandhana. This Haridatta has also uses Katapayadi numerical system in his Parahita.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, I'm finishing it, sir. I'm just concluding it.
Okay, ma'am.
Just a second or two. Yes. So the Kerala School of Mathematics, they have used a lot of this Katapayadi, and it has flourished in North India also. There are many other texts which uses this Katapayadi system. Yes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hello. You can hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Your conclusion. You have one more slide for conclusion. You can go ahead. You can take a minute.
Yes, because they were urging me. No, I thought I have to.
No, please conclude in 1 minute. 1 minute.
Yes,
no, it was. You see, Katapayadi is such a famous, numeral system.
Yes.
Please conclude.
Yes, just we were seeing this. So Madhava of Sangamagama of the 14th century, he revised and refined again the set of Chandravakyas, and together with a method for computing them also in his work titled Venvaroha, which is again an elaboration of his earlier work, which is Sputa Chandraptihi. And Vararuchi's Vakyas calculates up to the nearest minutes. Here Madhava is calculated to the nearest seconds or Vikala. And Aganita Grahachara is another work of Madhava himself, which uses this Chandravakyani. And also this use this Chandravakyas. The next major work that makes use of this mnemonic system of Chandravakyas is the Vakya Karana or Vakya Panchanga Paddhati, the author of which is uncertain. This is again an astronomical treatise in the class of Karana. Some scholars attribute it to Vararuchi of the 14th century, but it is not sure. Karana again is a class of literature, the texts of which class or manuals for compilations of computational methods of practical geometry. The very basis of this Panchanga, which we use in South India, is the position of this heavenly bodies, namely the sun and the moon. And this Vakya Panchanga system, the positions of moon or sun is calculated only based on this Vakyas, which reduces the arithmetic calculations to a larger extent. This Chandravakyas, they are routinely made use of for computations of native almanacs, for predicting the positions of moon in the regions of South India, especially in Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and all that. So Vararuchi's Chandravakyas we see are of great importance, and there had been so many astronomical treatises which have used them extensively for various astronomical calculations to predict the positions of celestial bodies. And again, this Katapayadi system, which is said to be an innovative invention of Vararuchi itself, which is again debatable, is extensively used by the astronomers and the mathematicians down the centuries for encryption purposes, and it largely contributed to the further advances and development of the Kerala School of Mathematics. Thank you.
Thank you, Bhuneshwari ji. Thank you very much. See, Katapayadi has a large usage, and then it's one of those famous systems that we have where the numerals are converted to Vakya. Some phenomenal achievement. Phenomenal achievement to be precise. I have heard lectures by IIT professors very recently. Professor Ramasubramanian.
Mr. Ramasubramanian, sir. Yes.
Yes. He gives a lecture. He's a good friend of mine. Once you started Katapayadi, I remembered Ramasubramanian because he delivers lectures, talks.
Till now, it is not known. The origin of Katapayadi is it is again debatable. A lot of research has to be done over it because we say it is used even in the Sayana's Vyakya for the Rig Veda, that he uses Katapayadi to bring down the value of pi.
Okay.
So we do not know whether he did it knowingly or that system was existing since then, or do not know. For now, we attribute it only to this Vararuchi. Again, there are many Vararuchi, and this particular Vararuchi is of Kerala fame Vararuchi, we say of the 4th century AD. Again, the date is debatable. We do not know whether it is 1 BC or 4 AD. All this researches are going on.
And in the present day Panchanga system, when our so many Pandits in South India,
yes,
when they decide, are they still using the same model?
Yeah, exactly, sir. The same is being used.
When the new Panchanga is created every year, they use
because in this it is reduced to a very great larger extent. So just they have to like repeat the things. 248 cycle to be repeated. That's it. And there are many other. There is one for 325 days, and there are many like that. And in a similar way, there are many other planetary motions also. We have vakyas for that.
Okay. Oh my God.
Namaste, ma'am. I have a question. Can I ask a question? Lakshmi, ma'am, that was a fantastic presentation. I really enjoyed it. I have a simple basic question out here. Is this the one that we talk about, like Vakya Panchangam in South India?
Exactly. Vakya Panchangam of South India is based on this.
Yeah. Then we see that Aryabhatta and co later they came up with what is called as the Driganitam.
Driganitam, I do not know. Driganitam is not attributed to Aryabhatta. It came much later. So Driganita, it's the present day. What we see here, that is according to that the calculations are made. But here it is traditional. Already the calculations are made with the corrections. Madhava has done it with some corrections from 4th century to 14. There is a large gap, and he has made some corrections and he has presented it. So that is being used. That's it.
So every time we have to use it, we have to make corrections, is it?
Yes. Oh, yes. For yes, exactly. Any astronomical manual, whatever it is, there has to be corrections over a period of time, say for 1,000 years or something, definitely. And they do give it with corrections. Yes, that's it.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dhanyavada.
When you said Madhavacharya, it is Shayana Madhava or the same Madhavacharya? Which
Some Madhavacharya of Kerala School of Mathematics, of Sangama Grama of Kerala. He was a founder of the Kerala system of mathematics. The Kerala School of Mathematics started from him, and it ran for a few centuries with many of his disciples, and they have done a lot of work in astronomy.
Okay. Oh my God. Thank you very much.
Dhanyavada.
Sagarika Bhattacharya, do we have the next? Sagarika?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please, Sagarika ji. Namo Namaha.
जी, सर्वप्रथम अहम अस्मि सागरिका भट्टाचार्य जी. अहम असमप्रान्ततः एव अस्मि. पुनश्च असम विश्वविद्यालये एव अहं पठितवती. अतः सर्वादौ अहम् अत्र गुरुवैराणां कृते हार्दं धन्यवादं विज्ञापयामि, यतोहि मम निमित्तम् अत्र सुअवसरं प्रदत्तम् अस्ति. पुनश्च अहं श्रद्धाञ्जलिमपि विज्ञापयामि अस्माकं गुरुपादाः मान्याः परमपूज्याः स्वप्नादेवी महाभागानां कृते, यतोहि सा मम गुरुवैराः एव आसीत्, अतः एव. अस्तु, इदानीम् अहम् अस्सां संगोष्ठ्यां सर्वादौ अध्यक्षपदम् अलङ्कुर्वन्तः मान्याः नटराज महाभागानां कृते अहं हार्दं श्रद्धाञ्जलिम् अत्र पुनरपि प्रणामं विज्ञापयामि. इदानीम् अहं मम विषयम् अत्र उपस्थापयामि. मम विषयः अत्र प्रदत्तः अस्ति. भारतीय ज्योतिषशास्त्रदिशा सूर्यस्य महत्त्वं मानव जीवने तस्य प्रभावश्च एकं पैरालोचनम्. यतोहि समयस्य अभावः वर्तते, अतः संक्षिप्त रूपेण एव अहम् उपस्थापयामि. सर्वादौ भूमिका प्रान्ते अहं वक्तुम् इच्छामि यत् ब्रह्मसृष्ट जगति जीवश्रेष्ठ मानवा जीवन मरण चक्रापाशाबद्धाः भवन्ति. यदा कस्यचित् जन्म भवति तदा तस्य विधिलेखनमपि पूर्वजन्म संस्कारानुगुणं ग्रह नक्षत्राणां दृष्टानुसारं सक्रियताम् अवाप्यते. अतो ग्रह नक्षत्र विचारयुतः ज्योतिष वेदांग वेद पुरुषस्य नयनमित्यनेन विधीयते. तथा हि प्रोक्तमेव छन्दः पादौ तु वेदस्य हस्तो कल्पोऽथ पठ्यते ज्योतिषमयनं चक्षुः निरुक्तं श्रोत्रमुच्यते इति पाणिनीय शिक्षायामेव उपलभ्यते। पुनश्च भारतीय ज्योतिष परंपरा अतीव प्राचीना वर्तते। अस्याः परंपरायाः प्रयोजनं प्रधानतः दिवारात्रि वर्ष ऋतु मास नक्षत्र ग्रहादीनां कालगणना स्थिति निरूपणावसरे सिद्धं जायते। ज्योतिषं विना एतेषां व्यापारे पूर्वज्ञानं नैव लब्धुं शक्यते। वैदिक शास्त्रेषु कालस्य अनेका विभागाः उपलभ्यन्ते, यथा वसन्ते ब्राह्मणोऽग्निम् अदधीत, ग्रीष्मे राजन्य आदधीत, शरदि वैश्य आदधीत इत्यभिः ऋतुप्रसङ्गः स्पष्टीकृतः। तद्वत् प्रातः जुहोति, सायं जुहोति प्रभृतिभिः दिवसस्य अंशकालः द्योतते। एतेषाम् उचितानुचितं यथायथं ज्ञाननिधिपरकत्वं शास्त्रं वर्तते वेदांग ज्योतिषं शास्त्रम्। वेदांग ज्योतिषवत् कालगणना विषयकानि बहूनि ज्योतिष शास्त्राणि सन्ति, यथा आयरं महासिद्धान्तः, सूर्य सिद्धान्तः, पैतामह सिद्धान्तः, वशिष्ठ सिद्धान्त प्रभृतयः। भारतीय ज्योतिष शास्त्राणां वस्तुतः त्रैविधत्वं परिलक्ष्यते, यथा सिद्धांत ज्योतिष अथवा गणित ज्योतिष, पुनश्च फलित ज्योतिष, अनन्तरमस्ति ज्योतिष संहिता इति। एतेषु सिद्धांत ज्योतिष ग्रहाणां स्थानकाल कक्षग इत्यादीनाम् आधार्य प्रतिपादितं जातम्। उपरि नामाङ्कितानि शास्त्राणि अस्य भागस्य अन्तर्गतानि भवन्ति। ततश्च फलित ज्योतिषः विषयो वर्तते मनुष्याणां लग्न ग्रह सन्निवेशित भाग्यफल गणना, लघु जातकं जातकालंकारः, सारावली, राजमार्तण्डः, होराशास्त्रं, बृहत् संहिता प्रभृतयः अस्मिन् विभागे एव आपतन्ति। अस्मिन् विभागे जातक जातिकानां जन्म काल स्थान समयादीन् आधारीकृत्य कुण्डली निर्माणं कथं भवेत्, भाग्यं कथं भवितुमर्हति तत् सर्वं विचार्यते। पुनश्च संहिता भागस्य प्रतिपाद्य विषयोऽस्ति ज्योतिर्विद्यादिशा अस्माकं जगति संजायमानाः भूकंप, झंझावात, अनावृष्टि, अतिवृष्टि, भूशुष्कता, वज्रपात, राष्ट्र विप्लवादयः प्रभृतीनां प्राकृतिकापदां ग्रह नक्षत्र योग बलात् कथं कदा कुत्र दुष्परिणामो भवितुम् अर्हति, तस्माच्च किं किं भवितुं शक्यते इति। अस्य विभागस्य शास्त्रेषु प्रमुखाः सन्ति बृहत् संहिता, भृगु संहिता, गार्ग संहिता, नारद संहिता, पराशर संहिता प्रभृतयः। अनेन प्रकारेण त्रिषु एव विभागेषु ज्योतिषशास्त्राणि यथा कालं महर्षिभिः विरचितानि जातानि, परन्तु एतेषु ये खलु प्रतिपाद्य विषयाः सन्निहिताः जाताः, तेषु परिलक्ष्यते यत् सूर्य एव प्रमुख ग्रहोऽस्ति। यथा युग प्रारंभावसरे वेदांग ज्योतिष शास्त्रे प्रोक्तमेवं स्वराक्रमेते सोमार्को यदा साकं सवासवो स्यात् तदादियुगं माघस्तपः शुक्लोऽयनद्युदक् इति। वयं साधारणदृष्ट्यापि पश्यामश्चेत् सूर्यस्य क्षमता हि अपरग्रहेभ्यः अधिकतमास्ति। सूर्यस्य स्वकिरणैः तेजसा च सह चकासते, अन्येषां न भवन्ति। अतो सूर्यस्य प्रगाढः महत्त्वं प्रतिपादयन्ति अस्मिन् शोधपत्रे ज्योतिषशास्त्रे सूर्यस्य महत्त्वं मानवजीवने च कथं तस्य प्रभावः पतन्नस्ति तमाधार्य मम इयं पर्यवेक्षण प्रचेष्टा विधीयते। विषय प्रवेशः। ज्योतिष शास्त्रदिशा सूर्यस्य महत्त्वम्। अस्माकं सौरमण्डलस्य मूलभूतोऽस्ति सूर्यः। सूर्यं परितो सर्वे ग्रहाः स्वकक्षपथि परिभ्रमन्ति। सूर्यं विना तेषां ज्योतिर्नास्ति। वयम् आकाशे येषां ग्रहाणां देदीप्यमानावस्थां पश्यामः तेषां तु ज्योतिः वस्तुतः सूर्यात् प्राप्तरश्मिभिरेव सम्भवति। अतो सूर्यः प्रमुखत्वं याति। वेदेषु अपि तत्र परिकल्पते स्तुतिर्भवति, यथा चित्रं देवानामुदगादनीकं चक्षुर्मित्रस्य वरुणास्याग्नेः आप्राद्यावा पृथिवी अंतरिक्षगुं सूर्य आत्मा जगदस्तस्थुश्च इति। सूर्यशास्त्रेषु ज्योतिषशास्त्रेषु ग्रहाणाम् अध्ययनावसरे एतद् वीक्ष्यते यत् सूर्य सर्वेषां ग्रहाणां प्रमुखत्वेन भजते। सूर्यस्य प्रभावात् हि दिवसो मासश्च विद्यते। तथा हि प्रोक्तं प्राणादिः कथितो मूर्तस्तुत्याद्यो अमूर्तसंज्ञकः षड्भिः प्राणैर्विनारिस्तात्षष्ट्या नारिका स्मृता। नारीषष्ट्या तु नक्षत्रमहोरात्रं प्रकीर्तितं तत् स्त्रिंशता भविन्मासः सावनोर्कोदयोस्तथा। अन्धवः स्थितिभिस्तद्वत् संक्रांत्या सौर उच्यते। मासैर्द्वादशाभिर्वर्षं दिव्यं तदः उच्यते इति। अत्र दृश्यते यत् कालभेदावसरे सौरचन्द्रमास निरूपणावसरे च सूर्यस्यैव गुरुत्वं प्रतिपद्यते, अन्येषां ग्रहाणां न। सूर्यः केन्द्ररूपोऽस्ति। अस्य अयम् आशयोऽस्ति यत् सूर्य ज्योतिषशास्त्रे कालपुरुषस्य कल्पना कृता अस्ति। तत्र सूर्यस्य स्थानं वर्तते हृदये। अत्र कालपुरुष नाम जन्मपत्रिकाति विज्ञेयम्। जन्मपत्रिकायां 12 राशयो भवन्ति, तदनुसारं तेषां स्वामी ग्रहापि भवन्ति। 12 राशीनां कृते पृथक् पृथक् अङ्गविवेचनापि जाता। तथा हि प्रोक्तं मेषो वृषश्च मिथुनः कर्कसिंह कुमारिकाः तुलाले धनुषो नक्रकुम्भमीनास्ततः परं शीर्षाननौ तथा बाहुः हृत्तिक्रोडकटिबस्तयः गुह्योरुर्जानो युग्मे वै युगले जङ्घके तथा चरणो दो तथा लग्नात् ज्ञेयाः शीर्षादयः क्रमात् इति। एतेषु सिंहराशेः स्थानं हृदयमिति प्रतिफलितं जायते। तस्य स्वामी ग्रहोऽस्ति सूर्यः। तथा हि प्रोक्तं सिंहः सूर्याधिपः। सूर्यः कालात्मापि उच्यते। यतो ग्रह स्वरूप कथनावसरे पराशरमुनिना कथ्यते कालात्मा च दिवानाथो इति। अनेन प्रकारेण वयं पश्यामः चेत् शास्त्रेषु ज्योतिषशास्त्रेषु बहुषु क्षेत्रेषु एव सूर्यस्य प्रसङ्गः प्रमुखत्वेन एव अत्र प्रदीयन्ते। पुनश्च शास्त्रमस्ति, ज्योतिषशास्त्रेषु प्रमुखं शास्त्रमस्ति सूर्यसिद्धान्त नामकं शास्त्रं। तत्र साक्षात् अवतार रूप सूर्य हि मयदानवस्य समक्षं सम्पूर्ण ब्रह्माण्डस्य सृष्टिव्यापारे गूढरहस्यम् उद्घाटयति। यत्र एवमुच्यते हिरण्यगर्भो भगवान् एष छन्दसि पठ्यते आदित्यो यादिभूतत्वात् प्रसूत्या सूर्य उच्यते। पुनश्च अत्र अस्य स्वस्वरूप वर्णनादस्य वैभवं भव्यरूपता प्रतिफलितमपि भवति। तद्यथा प्रकाशात्मा तमोहन्ता महानित्येष विश्रुतः ऋचोस्य मण्डलं सामान्युस्त्रा मूर्तिर्यजुंषि च त्रयीमयोऽयं भगवान् कालात्मा कालकृत् भूः सर्वात्मा सर्वगः सूक्ष्मः सर्वस्मिन् प्रतिष्ठितम् इति। अस्मात् स्वतः प्रतिपन्नो जायते यत् ज्योतिषां ज्योतिरस्ति सूर्यदेवः। अतः सूर्यस्य महत्त्वं ज्योतिषशास्त्रेषु कल्पनातीतम्। इदानीम् आगच्छामः मानव जीवने सूर्यस्य प्रभावः कथं भवति। अस्माकं जीवनं कर्ममय जीवनम् अस्ति, तदनुसारं ग्रहाणां प्रभावोऽपि विद्यते। मानव जीवने यथा अन्येषां ग्रहाणां प्रभावः तेषां स्थितिदिशा भावदिशा स्थानदिशा दृष्टिदिशा पतति, तद्वत् सूर्यस्यापि प्रभावो दृष्टिः प्रकोपादयः पतन्ति मानवेषु। अस्मिन् प्रसङ्गे अहं पूर्णतया वैज्ञानिकरूपेण कथं सूर्यस्य ऊर्जा द्वारा अस्माकं जीवने प्रभावः पतति तद् अहम् एकस्मिन् ग्रन्थे लेखकः प्रेमकुमार शर्मा वैरेण उल्लेखितं हिंदी भाषया अस्ति। तस्याः उक्तिरियं अहम् अत्र उपस्थापयितुम् इच्छामि। भारतीय तत्व विज्ञान के सिद्धांतों के अनुसार इस ब्रह्मांड की प्रत्येक इकाई का एक पावर सर्किट है। इस सर्किट में जो ऊर्जा तरंगे चलती है उनकी सूक्ष्म तरंगे उसकी सतह से विकसित होती है। इन तरंगों का प्रभाव एक दूसरे पर पड़ता है। इस सिद्धांत के अनुसार ग्रहों से जो तरंग निकलती है उनकी परिक्रमा से उसकी स्थिति में अंतर आने के कारण उनके चुंबकीय एवं विद्युतीय बलों में जो परिवर्तन होता है वह पृथ्वी के वातावरण को पूर्ण रूप से प्रभावित करता है। इस प्रभाव के समय जो शरीर रचना होती है, चाहे वह निर्जीव परमाणु की, वनस्पति की या जीव की, उस पर उस ऊर्जा का प्रभाव पड़ता है और उसके पावर सर्किट के शक्ति बिंदुओं की सक्रियता उसी स्थिति के अनुरूप हो जाती है। इसके कारण उसके अंतर विद्यमान ऊर्जा धाराओं की प्रवृत्ति भी प्रभावित होती है और उसके संपूर्ण क्रियाकलापों का निर्धारण, उसका स्वास्थ्य, उसकी आयु आदि इन्हीं ऊर्जा धाराओं पर निर्भर करती है। एवं प्रकारेण महाभागेन लिखितं वर्तते। वयं जानीमो यत् यदा जातकस्य जातिकायाः वा जन्म भवति तदा तस्य जन्मपत्रिका निर्मीयते अस्मद्भारतीय परम्परानुसारम्। तदा ग्रहाणां महादशादिकं ज्योतिर्विद्भिः विचार्यते। सूर्यस्य महादशायां विविध ग्रहाणां अन्तर्दशा यदा प्रारभते तदा जातकस्य जातिकायाः जीवने शुभ महोदय समाप्तं करोमि। आमाम् शुभाशुभ फलं द्योतते। अत्र रोगाणां नामानि अपि अत्र मया लिखितानि, सूची अपि प्रदीयते। अत्र पुनरपि वयं द्रष्टुं शक्नुमः। इदानीम् उपसंहारं प्रति आगच्छामः। अत्र निष्कर्षरूपेण वयं वक्तुं शक्नुमः यत् मानवजीवनं दिव्यं वर्तते, यतो मनुष्यजन्म दुर्लभं भवति। अस्मिन् संसारे वयं मानवरूपेण जन्मग्रहणं कृतवन्तः, तदपि अस्मिन्नेव भारतवर्ष नामधेये पुण्यभूमौ। इदम् अस्माकं परम सौभाग्यम्। अयं भारतवर्षे ऋषि मुनीनां साधना क्षेत्रम् अस्ति। अत्रैव दृश्यते प्रकृतेः उपासना। वैदिक वाङ्मये मन्त्रैः प्रकृतिस्तुतिः दरीदृश्यते। तत्र सूर्यस्य महत्त्वं, सूर्याद्धि अस्माकम् अस्तित्वं सिद्धं जातम् अस्ति इति गुम्फितम्। ज्योतिषशास्त्रे इदं गूढरहस्यं प्रकृष्टतया उद्घोषितम्। अतः अस्माकं परमं लक्ष्यं भवितव्यं यत् सुस्वास्थ्य प्राप्तये सूर्योपासना सदैव करणीया, जीवनं साफल्यमण्डितं च करणीयमिति। तेन साकम् एतादृशानां रत्नस्वरूप शास्त्राणां रक्षणमपि करणीयमिति शम्। धन्यवादः। नमो नमः।
धन्यवादाः सागरिका जी, अतीव उत्तमं पत्रम्।
धन्यवादः।
About the importance of the sun in human life. Sun, when used in Mitra Shabda, when used in Pumlinga Rupena, Mitraha, it is Suryavachi. Mitra Shabda, when you have to say as a friend, it has to be neutral gender, Mitram. Mitra Krishti Animishabhicheshte Satyaya Havyam. Animishabhicheshte, without blinking the eyes, the sun is protecting the humanity. Mitra Krishti Animishabhicheshte. So therefore, D3, out of every 10 people in India, 8 people are lacking in D3. Now you go to any doctor in Apollo, they will prescribe you sit in the sun for 20 minutes, 40 minutes in the morning.
Yes, sir.
And Indian civilization.
I am also suffering in for a long time in a skin disease like psoriasis, and it's a very difficult to me. I am suffering because last 22 years.
See, that is the thing, So therefore, you wrote the paper. You did research on the sun. Very good.
Yes,
very good. We have built temples for the sun in India. In India, we have built temples, isn't it? Konark is one big example, and in other places also, in South India also.
Yes.
So the sun worship, Sandhyopasana, Surya Mandalantargata Chit Shaktyaha Upasana, Sandhyopasana iti vaktavya. So it is Surya Mandalantargata Chit Shakti. That is what is used for upasana by the ancient Vedic tradition.
Yes.
And that is, a muhurta kalam, before 40 minutes before the sunrise and 40 minutes after the sunrise and sunset also. So that kind of sun worship is not seen in any other civilizations. But unfortunately, these days, nobody has time. People have time for Facebook, Instagram, but there is no time to sit in the sun or use the energy of the sun. But anyway, they get up early at 10 o'clock. These fellows who are sitting with me, they don't see the sunrise at all. They get up in the hostels, they get up at 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Good paper for you. Thank you. Thank you, Sagarika. We'll go on to the next topic. Because here, yes.
Sir, I have two interesting facts that Suryasya Upasaka, it is Saurya, और ये भी पता चला एक मतलब कि भारत में नहीं, मतलब एंशियंट टाइम्स में, प्राचीन समय में इजिप्ट मिस्र देश में भी सूर्य की उपासना होती थी, ऐसा एंशियंट रिकॉर्ड्स मिला भी एविडेंस।
Good. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, there are other civilizations as well. Yes. It's not that only we know about Sanskrit. Yes. There are other civilizations. Thank you. Thank you very
धन्यवाद
much. We're moving on to the next speaker, रिपुदमन चांदर। संस्कृत ग्रंथों में ज्योतिष शास्त्र का वैशिष्ट्य एक अवलोकन। You are there, रिपुदमन जी? Are you there, रिपुदमन जी? आप है?
जी हरिओम सर जी।
हरिओम। ये रिपुदमन जी है। गो अहेड रिपुदमन जी।
सदाशिव समारंभाम शंकराचार्य मध्यमाम अस्मदाचार्य पर्यंतम वंदे गुरु परंपरा। सभी गुरुजनों को मेरा प्रणाम। समय का बहुत अभाव है तो मैं बहुत संक्षिप्त शब्दों में अपना पत्र प्रस्तुत करना चाहूंगा। जो भी है संस्कृत ग्रंथों में कहाँ पे ज्योतिष की बात आई है और कहाँ पे ज्योतिष है। तो पहले कहते हैं कि ज्योतिष शास्त्र जो है, तो ज्योतिष शास्त्र के विषय में कहा गया है कि यथा शिखा मयूराणाम नागाणाम मणयो यथा तद्वद वेदांग शास्त्राणाम।
माइक बंद हो गया है
जी।
आप म्यूट है रिपुदमन जी। जी अभी आ रहा है। हाँ
अब अनम्यूट है, ठीक है। जिस प्रकार मयूरों के सर पे शिखा शोभा को पाती है और कहा है कि नागा नाम मणि होता है, जिस प्रकार नागों के सर पर मणि विराजमान होते शोभा को पाती है, उसी प्रकार जो 6 वेदांग है, 6 वेदांगों में ज्योतिष भी शोभा को पाता है। सबसे ऊपर रखा गया है मूर्धनी में रखा गया है। तो उसके उपरांत ज्योतिष के विषय में फिर से कहते हैं कि जो दूसरे जो भी शास्त्र हैं उनमें विवाद है। कहते हैं कि अप्रत्यक्षाणि शास्त्राणि विवादस्तेषु केवलम प्रत्यक्षम ज्योतिषम शास्त्रम चंद्रार्को यत्र साक्षिणो। कि बाकी ग्रंथों में हमें प्रत्यक्ष रूप में नहीं दिखता, लेकिन यहाँ पर जो सूर्य है वह प्रत्यक्ष रूप में विराजमान है, वे दिखाई देते हैं। चंद्रमा प्रत्यक्ष रूप में दिखाई देते हैं। तो इस विषय में भी कोई विवाद नहीं है कि अप्रत्यक्ष शास्त्र है। तो अब प्राचीन काल में या पहले के काल से ही हम देखते आए हैं आकाश में जो अस्त व्यस्त रूप में रात्रि में तारे दृष्टिगोचर होते हैं, तारका पुंज होते हैं, दृष्टिगोचर होते हैं, तो हमें वह दिखते हैं। और उन्हीं को देखते हुए जो मानव सभ्यता पहले से ही रहस्यमय, उनके लिए रहस्य बना है कि ये क्या है, किस तरह से है। तो वह इस रहस्य को जानने का काफी प्रयास करते रहे हैं। उसके बाद जो हमारे प्राचीन ऋषि मुनियों थे, उन ऋषि मुनियों ने अपनी योग दृष्टि के कारण उस विशाल आकाश में 2 प्रकार के आकाश पिंडों को सुनिश्चित किया कि वह 2 प्रकार के, एक है चलित जो चलायमान है और दूसरे है जो चलते हुए प्रतीत नहीं होते, यानी मतलब गति जिनकी प्रतीत नहीं होती। इस विषय में जो निरुक्तकार यास्क जी वह कहते हैं न क्षते गति कर्मणः, यानी जिनकी गति प्रतीत नहीं होती वह नक्षत्र है। नक्षत्रों को कहा गया है कि उन प्रकाशमान पिंडों की गति प्रतीत नहीं होती, वह एक ही जगह परिभ्रमण करते हैं। दूसरे है ग्रह जो ग्रहणंती इति ग्रह, यास्क कहते हैं ग्रहणंती इति ग्रह, अर्थात जो नक्षत्रों को ग्रहण करते हुए चलते हैं वह ग्रह है। ये अपने निरुक्त में यास्क जी कहते हैं। फिर ज्योतिष शास्त्र के भेद को हम देखते हैं तो वो प्राचीन काल से ही अनेक भेदों से व्याप्त रहा है। जैसे शकुन शास्त्र, स्वप्न शास्त्र, अंग स्फुरण, शारीरिक लक्षण, सामुद्रिक शास्त्र, नाड़ी शास्त्र, स्वर विज्ञान इत्यादि अनेक भेदों से रहा है। लेकिन जब आचार्य कश्यप ने ज्योतिष शास्त्र के 18 प्रवर्तक कहे, तब तक उन 18 प्रवर्तकों के काल तक सूर्य इत्यादि, सूर्य पितामह, व्यासो इत्यादि, उन 18 प्रवर्तकों तक वह ज्योतिष शास्त्र 3 भागों में विभक्त हो चुका था। कहते हैं कि ज्योतिष शास्त्र अनेक भेद विषयम स्कंधत्रया अधिष्ठितम, यानी 3 स्कंधों में विभक्त था। 3 स्कंध कौन से थे? गणित यानी सिद्धांत स्कंध, होरा यानी फलित सिद्धांत, और दूसरा संहिता ज्योतिष। लेकिन कुछ लोग जो है, कुछ आचार्य मानते हैं कि केरली और शास्त्र को मिलाकर 5 स्कंधात्मक मानते हैं। किंतु प्राचीन काल से लेके इस आज के अर्वाचीन काल तक ज्योतिष शास्त्र सिर्फ 3 ही स्कंधों में परिगणित किया गया है, वही प्रामाणिक है। तो अब बात करते हैं संस्कृत के ग्रंथों में ज्योतिष की विशेषता की। सभी संस्कृत ग्रंथों में ज्योतिष के कुछ न कुछ पाठ अंग पाए जाते हैं। कहीं सूर्य की चर्चा, कहीं आत्मा की चर्चा, कहीं पे नक्षत्रों की चर्चा, कहीं पे मास की चर्चा। तो गीता के विषय में आते हैं सबसे पहले। ऐसे तो बहुत देखा जाए तो विस्तार तो बहुत है, बहुत ज्यादा विस्तार है इन चीजों का, लेकिन भगवत गीता से मैं शुरू करना चाहूंगा कि ज्योतिष शास्त्र में काल की गणना को ही मुख्य लिया गया है। ज्योतिष शास्त्र काल को लेकर ही चलता है। इसी काल को भगवान श्री कृष्ण कहते हैं कि गणना करने वालों में मैं काल हूँ। 10वें अध्याय में वह कहते हैं कि गणना करने वालों में मैं काल हूँ। कालः कलयातामहम्, यानी वो वह कहते हैं प्रहलाद शामी दैत्यानाम कालः कलयातामहम्। काल को अपना स्वरूप बताया है भगवान ने। फिर काल की गणना जो सूर्य से होती है, तो फिर भगवान कहते हैं कि ज्योतिषाम रविंशुमान, यानी वो कहते हैं वहां पे आदित्या नाम अहम विष्णु ज्योतिषाम रविंशुमान, यानी आदित्यों में, यानी द्वादश आदित्यों में, यानी अदिति के जो 12 पुत्र है उनमें मैं विष्णु हूँ। ज्योतिषाम रविंशुमान, और ज्योति यानी चमकने वाले उस स्वरूप में मैं सूर्य हूँ। तो सूर्य को हम पाते हैं ज्योतिष शास्त्र का प्रधान। फिर तदुपरांत उसके बाद हम देखते हैं कि 27 नक्षत्र है। 27 नक्षत्रों में फिर से भगवान वहीं पे कहते हैं 10वें अध्याय के 21वें श्लोक में, नक्षत्राणाम शशि अहम, नक्षत्राणाम अहम शशि, नक्षत्रों में मैं शशि हूँ। यानी जो 2.25 नक्षत्रों की एक राशि होती है, उसी से चंद्रमा बनता है। चंद्रमा की एक राशि 2.25 नक्षत्रों की होती है, तभी भगवान कहते हैं नक्षत्राणाम शशि अहम। 12 राशियां होती है। इन्हीं 12 राशियों पर सूर्य परिभ्रमण करता है, तथा एक राशि सूर्य 1 महीना चलता है। तो महीने के मास में, महीने के चैत्र इत्यादि मासों में भी भगवान श्री कृष्ण कहते हैं कि मासा नाम मार्गशीर्षो अहम, मासों में मैं मार्गशीर्ष हूँ। ये सब ज्योतिष के ही अंग है। फिर ऋतुओं का वर्णन करते हैं, तो वहीं पे भगवान श्री कृष्ण कहते हैं कि ऋतु नाम कुसुमाकर, ऋतुओं में मैं बसंत हूँ। ऋतुओं की गणना उससे होती है। फिर 2-3 ऋतुओं के बीतने पर दक्षिणायन और उत्तरायण, इसका वर्णन ज्योतिष में आता है। तो वहां पर भी 8वें अध्याय में भगवान फिर कहते हैं कि अग्निर्ज्योतिरिह शुक्ल क्षण मासा नाम उत्तरायणम, फिर उसके क्षण मासा नाम दक्षिणायनम। ये 8वें अध्याय के 24वें और 25वें श्लोक में भगवान सूर्य, भगवान कृष्ण उत्तरायण और दक्षिणायन से इस प्रकार कहते हैं। फिर युग के विषय में चर्चा की जाती है। तो युग के विषय में भगवान कहते हैं कि संभवामि युगे युगे परित्राणाय साधूनां विनाशाय च दुष्कृताम् धर्म संस्थापनार्थाय संभवामि युगे युगे। तो युग को इस पद में भी भगवान ने कहा है कि सतयुग, त्रेता युग, द्वापर युग, इन तीनों युगों के बीत जाने पर एक चतुर्युगी बनती है। तो एक चतुर्युग यानी एक महायुग। ऐसा ही 1000 जो चतुर्युग बीतने पर ब्रह्मा का एक दिन होता है, जिसे सर्ग कहा जाता है। अगला एक दिन होगा जब 1000 महायुग फिर से बीतेंगे, 1000 चतुर्युगी फिर से बीतेगी, तो फिर वह होगी प्रलय, यानी वो प्रतिसर्ग होगा, सर्ग और प्रतिसर्ग। ये भी भगवान 8वें अध्याय में कहते हैं कि सहस्त्र युग पर्यंतम रात्रि युग सहस्त्राणम ते अहोरात्रम योजना। तो इसी तरह ब्रह्मा की आयु जो 100 वर्षों की आयु बताई गई है सिद्धांत ग्रंथों में, सूर्य सिद्धांत में और दूसरे ग्रंथों में, वहां पे स्पष्ट होती है कि किस तरह ब्रह्मा की आयु होती है। पहले एक युग बीतता है, फिर 4 युग, 4 की चतुर्युगी बनती है, फिर कल्प, अंत में जाके कल्प बनता है। तो वो एक कल्प ब्रह्मा की आयु है। उस एक कल्प में 1000 चतुर्युगी यानी 1000 महायुग बीतते हैं, तो ब्रह्मा की आयु बनती है। फिर जिसमें सब कुछ ब्रह्मा की आयु पूरे ही होते ही महाप्रलय होती है, जिसमें सब कुछ परमात्मा में लीन हो जाता है। लीन होने के बाद भगवान फिर कहते हैं कि कल्प क्षय, यानी कल्प के अंत में, जो कल्प का अंत है, कल्प के अंत हो जाने पर सब मुझ में ही समा जाता है। और फिर कहते हैं भगवान की अक्षय काल के रूप में। अक्षय काल जो परमात्मा,
रिपुदमन जी सॉरी, 1 मिनट कंक्लूड करना है। हमारा सेशन ओवर हो गया और टाइम नहीं है, नेक्स्ट सेशन स्टार्ट करना है।
ठीक है, बस मैं समाप्त कर दूं फिर 2 मिनट में। गीता जी की बात हुई, फिर वाल्मीकि रामायण की बात करते हैं। तो वहां पे भी जटायु पहले तो वाल्मीकि जी राम जी के बारे में बताते हैं कि वो चैत्र मास के इस नक्षत्र में, चैत्र मास में उत्पन्न हुए, चैत्र मास की शुक्ल नवमी को उत्पन्न हुए, पुनर्वसु नक्षत्र में उत्पन्न, वहां पे हम प्राप्त करते हैं। फिर जटायु जी मुहूर्तों में बताते हैं कि रावण जब सीता जी को हरण करके ले गए थे, तो उस समय विंद नामक का मुहूर्त था। ये नियाति मुहूर्तेन सीता मादाय रावण, है ना, विंदो नाम मुहूर्तो असो न च काकुस्तम। विंद नामक के मुहूर्त को बताते हुए जटायु जी कहते हैं कि इस मुहूर्त में अपरित अपहरण की गई हुई चीज उसके स्वामी को जल्द ही मिलती है। तो ये वहां से भी जटायु जी का वचन पूर्ण होता है 1 वर्ष में ही। 1 वर्ष के अंतर ही राम जी को सीता की प्राप्ति हो जाती है। तो उसी याद उपनिषदों में देखते हैं, मैत्रायण काल की संज्ञा दी गई है, सूर्य की संज्ञा दी गई है, सूर्य को भगवान की, सूर्य को ब्रह्मा की संज्ञा दी गई है। तो काल ही महत्वपूर्ण है। उसके बाद नीति शतक इत्यादि सभी अनेक ग्रंथों में फिर देखा जाए तो कठोपनिषद इत्यादि या बहुत से ग्रंथों में ज्योतिषों का वर्णन मिलता है, जो कि जिसका बहुत विस्तार है। तो इसके विषय में बस एक ही चीज कहना चाहूंगा कि यदि ज्योतिष शास्त्र के आदेशों का सद्य फलित होना ही इसकी महानता को सर्वा अतिशय बना देता है कि सद्य फलति गंधारी मामेकम पुराणकम वेद फलति कालेन ज्योतिषम ज्योति वेद्यो निरंतरम। तो अनेक संहिताओं में वर्णन है, पुराणों में वर्णन है, मत्स्य पुराण में वर्णन है, वास्तु इत्यादि सभी दिशाओं से जितने भी ज्योतिष के अंग है उन्हीं के अनुसार अपने अपने ग्रंथों में, सभी संस्कृत ग्रंथों में ज्योतिष का ज्ञान समाहित है। तो अधिक क्या कहूँ, अभी समय भी नहीं है, तो यहीं पे अपनी वाणी को विराम देता हूँ। प्रणाम।
जय श्री।
रिपुदमन जी, आप ही तो कहा भगवान काल के रूप है, कालोस्मि लोक, तो काल जो है
जी रुकेगा नहीं।
Yeah, I mean, and next, anybody has one observation, one short observation on Ripudaman's Jyotish Shastra? There are many papers. Anybody wants to make one very brief comment, or we will move to one last presentation. Aishi Shaha.
Yes.
Aishi Shaha.
Yes, sir.
Brahmacharya Ashrama in scientific perspective. Mahodaya, dhanyawadaha. Shaha, we are ready to listen to you. We are ready to listen to you, Shaha. See, Ripudamanji, now though I am director, I am professor, I get a lot of time to speak. But as young research scholar and assistant professor, I used to get 3 minutes, 5 minutes of a presentation, around 100 seminars. I have crossed 100 seminars. But if you are, my Guruji used to say, if you are a good scholar, you should be able to make a presentation in 8 minutes, 7 minutes, able to tell the summary in 7 to 8 minutes, and then convince the people that it's a very good paper. So that's how we should be ready. So you have 8 minutes, Aishi Shaha, because Brahmacharya is very important ashrama, and then, we all know the importance of this. So please, 8 minutes for you. Thank you. Sorry, I cannot give you more time because the next session has to start. I understand. Aishi.
Teaching is based on its own psychological framework. Ancient Indian Brahmacharya Ashrama system shows that education has been able to play some effective role in human development since ancient times. In the modern education system, materialistic knowledge dominates that basic development because the emphasis is on students to develop their own in the era of globalization and liberalism. One of the aims of the Acharya in the Brahmacharya Ashrama system was to ensure the holistic development on his students. In this context, the science of the human life will be discussed, which was one of the main objective of Brahmacharya Ashrama and Brahmacharya Dharma. In the context, the definition of Brahmachari, duties and non-duties of Brahmachari, significance of the Gayatri Mantra, physical, mental and spiritual development of students through the system of Brahmachari will be discussed. Brahmachari means student. Students, the word students comes from chhatra, meaning umbrella. So it is thought that the literal meaning of the word chhatra is preserved here. The one under whose shadow the Brahmachari is celebrated, and the one who protects the Brahmachari, that is the Guru, is here designated by the word chhatra. The boy who practiced Brahma or Veda is called Brahmachari. In the Manu Samhita, Manu takes the final limit of human life as 100 years and divides it into 4 equal parts and says that the first part of the life, that is 25 years, the Vidyarthi Purusa will be Sanskritized by Upanayana Sanskara, and will live in Guru Griha known as Brahmachari. Duties and non-duties of Brahmachari. Some rules are prescribed for the observance of Brahmacharya Varta by a Brahmachari. A number of vows are prescribed for celibates of all classes, namely Brahmins, Kshatriya, and Vaishya. The dharma of celibacy can be divided into two categories. One type of dharma observes for some time after Upanayana Sanskara, and the other is for as long as bachelorhood in present. Ashtalayana Sauta Sutram says that after Upanayana, a celibate should not take alkali and salt food for 3 days and 3 nights, or 12 days and 12 nights, or a whole year. Instead of sleeping, one cots, sleep on the ground, honey, meat, rubbing the body, bathing, strigamana, laying, taking anything by others, and everything that was previously, that is period to celibacy, should be renounced. Among the obligatory duties of brahmachari are worshipping the acharya as a god, obeying his commands, collecting alms, leaving bed in the morning, collecting samidha, gocharana, and vedadhyana, etc. Also, some of main provisions of brahmachari are dandadharana, that is to hold penance till samavartana sanskara. Agni vicharana, that is fire, should be worship samidha aharana, that is bringing wood, and viksha vriti, that is alms giving, also attending to yogos, regular reading of Vedas and achamana, bhakta sanjam, etc. should be done. Gayatri mantra should be chanted daily with pranayama, surya vandana, and omkar for dija boy. If we look at the detailed rules about celibacy in the post-Veda period memories, it seems that there was a popular belief in that age that a mature boy would perfect himself in work, speech, and thought by practicing strict celibacy, and thus enter the Garhasthashrama as a man of integrity and character. If responsibility for the family, he not only improves his family, but he is also able to improve the society around him. But it is true that the list of instruction for celibacy given for the sex and Sritikaras is too extensive that it is not possible for everyone to follow them in full. But if the young celibates is able to observe even some part of these rules, then he able to preserve human qualities like unity between God and man, non-violence, modesty, greatness, respect for elders, devotion to God, etc. Physical development. As with Surjapasana, Manu elaborate on the integral development of the students. In this part that will be discussed how to practice of Brahmacharya Dharma were helpful to develop the different values in students' life in ancient Gurukula system. There are some values which are equivalent to few practice of the Brahmacharya Dharma. For instance, the value Sadhya means the study of the Vedas and scriptures, which is directly related to the practice called Vedara Brahma Joggo. Students develop the quality Sadhya in themselves by the practice of Brahma Joggo. Likely the value of Sadhya, they develop the quality of sacrifice for others, which is called Joggo, through the practice of Joggo. The first requirement for maintaining a healthy body for physical development is to ensure its cleanliness of Saucha, which was inculcated by Shaucha Vidhi, cleaning of the body by taking bath regularly. Furthermore, the performance of daily acts like Surya Upasana, Bhojana Vidhi, and
उपसंहारं summary संक्षेप रूपेण.
Okay, sir.
संक्षेप है, उसमें और संक्षेप कितना करेगा? और भी करना है, 2 लाइन में.
This study tried to show that Brahmacharya dharma, which comprises a set of practice, was helpful in cultivation related values in the students, catering to their growth at various interconnected levels of their being, from the gross physical to the subtle spiritual. The ancient Indian Gurukula system thus helped to create individual with an all-round personality who would be an asset to society. That was the central focus of the educational psychology of ancient Indian Gurukula.
Thank you so much for your good presentation. Sorry we could not give you much time. Brahmani charati, anyone who is traveling in the path of Brahman is a brahmachari. Brahmani charati, कह सकते हैं. As an ashrama, it is the first ashrama, but then anybody who travels towards Brahman, that is the brahmacharya. That's a better explanation. But as the first ashrama, it is those first 25, 28 years, whatever is the case. Good paper. Anybody with short observation? One observation.
Yeah.
Vishweshwarji.
Namo Namaha. Myself wanted to speak that means those who have expertise in Indriya Nigraha, or those who have a sense of Nishkama Karma and devoted to God completely in his or her life, is a brahmachari or brahmacharini. That's what my perspective is.
Okay. You can have a perspective, any perspective. Thank you. That's okay. Not bad. Thank you, everybody. All the presentations were good. Many papers on astronomy, astrology, and then several contributions of Sanskrit texts to science and technology. We had good, fruitful discussions. We are moving to the next session because our Nepalji, the chairman of the next session, is still waiting here. I hope you will continue to hear and then participate in the discussions. So, dhanyawada. Thank you very much.
Namo.
Sure, you come here. Okay.
नमो नमः मन्याः. नमो नमः.
सर्वेभ्यः अस्मिन् सत्रे समुपस्थिताः सर्वेपि पत्रवाचकाः अत्र प्रायशः समागताः स्युः। अत्र इदानीं सत्रस्य प्रारम्भे अस्माकं मध्ये विराजमानाः सन्ति नेपाल संस्कृत विश्वविद्यालयस्य न्यायविभागस्य प्राध्यापकाः, नैकशास्त्रपारङ्गताः, न्यायशास्त्रपारङ्गताः, व्याकरण सर्वदर्शनाचार्य पुनश्च राष्ट्रपति सम्मानेन विभूषिताः डॉक्टर रघुनाथ नेपाल महोदयः सन्ति। अहं तेषां वरणार्थम् अहं डॉक्टर गोविंद शर्मा महोदय इदानीं भवतः नमस्ते।
नमो नमः। सर्वेभ्यः स्वागतम् अभिनन्दनं च। अस्याम् अन्ताराष्ट्रीय संगोष्ठ्यां वयम् एकत्रीभूय संस्कृत शिक्षायां संस्कृत वाङ्मये संस्कृत ग्रन्थेषु वा विज्ञानं प्रविधिश्च इति विषयम् अवलम्ब्य चर्चां कुर्वन्तः स्म। इदानीं बहूनि सत्राणि अत्र चलन्ति सन्ति। अत्र इदानीं रम्या आर सुजाता शाण्डिल्य महोदयाम् अहम् आह्वयामि। सा अत्र आगत्य स्वकीयं पत्रवाचनं करोतु इति। अस्ति वा अत्र? नास्ति। सुजाता शाण्डिल्य।
सुजाता शाण्डिल्य Next.
इदानीम् अन्यम् आह्वयामि। अत्र वर्तते डॉक्टर शिस्तला शैलजा।
Good evening, Mahodaya. Shailaja Sishla. Actually, I worked before, but now I am a homemaker. So I just am interested because I used to work, but I have resigned my job. Okay, coming to my topic. It's aesthetics, vocal, instrumental, and dance in Sanskrit text and literature. Sanskrit is not only the mother of all languages and a repository of rich culture and heritage, but is also the mother of all arts. Fine arts like vocal, music, and instrumental and dance have their relevance in all the Sanskrit literature and are still growing rich and are continuing in the development unto modern times. The word aesthetics gives the meaning of perception or feeling. Indian aesthetics delivers the immortal abode of bliss and happiness. Indian aesthetics can be classified into three categories that are fine art and culture, drama and dramaturgy, literature and poetics. The aesthetics in music, drama and dramaturgy can be experienced through rasa and bhava. Sahitya means harmony between word and meaning that generates aesthetic pleasure in a sensitive mind. The different texts, plays, and Puranas in Sanskrit literature describe about few musical details, including music, both vocal and instrumental, and dance. The ancient Indian music and dance was a form of worship. According to Sanskrit rhetorics, aesthetics means rasa. It reflects the Navarasas, Shringara Hasya Karuna, Raudra Veera Bhayanaka, Bhibat Sadbhuta Shantasya, Yete Cha Navarasa. In Indian aesthetics, a rasa connotes a concept in Indian arts about the aesthetic flavor of visual, literary, or musical works that evokes an emotion or feeling in the reader or audience. Aesthetics in literature is the inclusion of reference to artistic elements or expressions within a textual work. Music is often said to have value primarily in Vedas and many Sanskrit treatises. It is beautiful and its beauty gives pleasure to the listeners, also called as rasikas. The judgment about a work is an important part depending on the value, quality, expressiveness, its depth, its richness, and subtlety of the work. In Sanskrit texts and literature, music is rich in its content. The aesthetics of dance is the philosophical investigation of the nature of dance, of our interest in it, especially as an art form, and the variety of aesthetic judgment made about it. Abhinaya can be classified as four kinds, which are Angika, Vachika, Aharya, and Satvika. Sanskrit literature was not only the dialogue on the stage, but was an integrated representation with music, instruments, and dance too. Samaveda is the treasure chest of Vedic music. The sages used to sing hymns given in the Samaveda in praise of God. Natya Shastra of Bharata Muni is the earliest literature on music and dance. There are 6,000 couplets in 36 chapters. And Natya Shastra mainly focuses on dance and drama with music as an aid. And in chapter 28 to 33, it dwells on music, both vocal and instrumental. Bharata Muni expounded the relation between performed and audience through rasa bhava anubhava. A rasa is an emotional state. Bharata believes that dramatic form of aesthetic experiences is the utmost perfect aspect, as drama is the synthesis of all arts. According to Abhinav Gupta, the famous critic of Natya Shastra, opines that rasa is the simplest and most intricate expression in Sanskrit language, where everyone or anyone can experience but cannot define it. Natya Shastra is a compendium of performed arts, drama, music, and dance. Though Natya Shastra speaks about the theater, it actually encompasses all forms of art expressions. It states that there is no knowledge, no craft, no lore, no art, no techniques, and no activity that is not found in Natya Shastra. Na tat jnanam, na tat shilpam, na sa vidya, na sa kala, na sa yogo, na tat karma, na sa asmin yatra drishyate. And then Bharata explains that when the nature of world is possessing pleasure and pain, both it is depicted by means of representation through speech, songs, music, gesture, etc. Yoyam swabhavo lokasya sukha-dukkha samanvitaha somagadhya abhinaya ityopeto natyam ityabhidiyate. And if we see, due to time constraint, this topic is such a vast topic that if we can take as many examples as possible. But due to time constraint, I'm just picking up few of the examples from my paper. And the next rich culture we see is from the Ramayana. The fourth canto of Balakanda displays characters of Kusha and Lava, the two sons of Rama, the two brothers who were beautiful like Gandharvas, who mastered all the 7 notes of music and also possessed melodious voice. They learned the complete Ramayana with melody, measure, and time, where various emotions like pity, anger, heroism, love, and sorrow were portrayed. Patye geyam cha maduram pramane stribir navitam jatibihi saptarbhidam tantraliyam asamanitam rasai shrungara karuna hasya raudra bhayanikaihi veeratibhichi samyuktam kavyam etad gayatam tautu gandharva tatvagno murchana asthana kovidau bhratarau tvara rasa sampanna vashvinavau rupinau. So here we can see how they have mastered all the 9 rasas in the learning of Ramayana and singing of the complete Ramayana. In Ayodhya Kanda also, there is a mention where Sita, in grief, or in, you can say, with lots of grief, she says, and she compares Rama, the action of Rama, to an actor, where she rebukes him for not allowing her to accompany him to the forest. Swayam tu bharyam kaumarim, chira madhyam shitam sitam, sailusha iva mam Rama, parebhyo datum ichchasi. And then we can see many examples in Ayodhya Kanda where we come across such different expressions of all the 9 rasas. And in one more instance, Hanuman, he heard melodious songs of intoxicated women set to tune in 3 places, namely chest, throat, and head, and in the 3 pitches known as Mandra, Madhya, and Tara. The songs resemble those of the Apsaras, well set in musical notes, all set to music. And again, there is a mention of both music, vocal and instrumental, and dance in various instances of Ramayana, which is true to the fact of various types of music and dance prevalent during those times. And even in Mahabharata, if we see, there are innumerable varieties of Vichitra Vadyas and instruments, many kinds of instruments were mentioned, like Veena, and they were segregated into different types, like string instruments, percussion instruments, etc. And here we also come across Venu, Gomukha, Govishanka, and Shanka, which were also grouped as wind instruments. And in one instance, we can see that Arjuna is carried to Indra's court in Vanaparva, where he learns music and dance. And in Virat Parva, he teaches dancing disguised as Brahannala. And the Vishnu Purana also describes an elaborate rasa dance. And in Bhagavatam also, we come across this dance called as Rasa Krida. And Upanishads also mention about various kinds of music and dancing and mythology and perfume making, etc. And when we come to literature side, Kalidasa, he is a well-known poet who has used aesthetic sense to depict nature and deep human emotions. His works depict a refined expression of the aesthetic sense in full. Kalidasa was proficient in describing various fine arts such as music, dance, and painting. And if we see the works of Kalidasa, in Malvikagnimittram, at the very beginning, he states that Natyam bhinna rucher janasya bahudapyekam samaradhanam. And there are various instances where Kalidasa expresses the aesthetics that with all the 9 rasas in his works. And even in the works of Kadambari, Harsha, like Harsha Charitra and Kadambari of Bana also, we come across vivid different expressions of all this music and dance things. And even, there is a mention of many musical instruments also in these works of Bana. And if we see like, even in when he describes Ujjain, where he says, he also states about the Veena, the importance and the melodiousness of Veena. And we can see rich heritage and mentioning of various musical instruments when he describes the lineage of them. And Bhattanarayana in his Veni Samhara also, he describes in a shloka about the Veera Rasa of Bhima. And in Bhasa's work also in Act 3 of Balacharita, Krishna goes to the woods with cowherds and maidens and performs Hallisaka dance to the accompaniment of the drums. And of course, if we have to go on and on, we have so many shlokas and so many instances and examples. So I have no time. I'll just conclude this now. And we can say that there is no end to the aesthetics in Sanskrit texts and literature. It is brimmed with many examples which are rich in the aesthetic contents. Here only few examples I have just taken, and the rest have been presented in my paper. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. Because it's a vast topic, every shloka of Ramayana gives us an example of one rasa if we keep on mentioning about it. So I'm very glad to just take up this topic and mention few things. And thank you so much to the university and coordinators for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
धन्यवादः शैलजा महोदयायै समीचीनम् उक्तम् इदानीं तत्र अन्येभ्यः सहभागिभ्यः सूचयामि प्रप्रथमं तत्र अस्माकं पार्श्वे समयः अल्पः वर्तते सहभागिनः बहवः वर्तन्ते अतः संक्षेपेणैव साररूपेणैव स्वकीयस्य शोधपत्रस्य वाचनं कुर्वन्तु इति तत्र सम्पूर्णस्य शोधपत्रस्य वाचनं नावश्यकं तस्य यत् शोधपत्र यद् सारः अस्माभिः गृहीतः वर्तते तद् मूलविषयं स्वीकृत्य अनन्तरं साररूपेणैव संक्षेपेणैव वदन्तु। इदानीम् अपरः अत्र वर्तते लावण्याभि ईश्वर।
नमस्ते सर।
वदतु।
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Namaskar. I am Lavanya Ishwar, PhD research scholar in the field of Advaita Vedanta from the Kuppuswamy Shastri Research Institute, Chennai. I will be talking on ragas and the mind.
Sorry to interrupt. You can complete slideshow. You can do.
Okay.
Full screen.
Yes, yes. Is that okay?
Yes, fine.
Yeah. The ancient Hindus had relied on nada, sound, tone, music for its curative role. The chanting and toning of the Veda mantras have been used from time immemorial as a cure for many disharmonies in the individual as well as his environment. Several sects of bhakti such as Chaitanya Sampradaya and Vallabha Sampradaya have all accorded priority to music. The immense potential of the power of nada, the cosmic flow of sound, hidden in music was well recognized by the ancient Indian sages. They envisaged nada as Brahma Swarupa. Nada Tattva is considered as superior to even the Trinities. Chaitanyam Sarvabhutanam Nivrittam Jagadatmani Nada Brahmamritanandam Advitiyam Upasmahe Brahmano Asya Paro Vishnuhu Vishnoho Parataram Shivam Shivat Parataro Nado Nadat Parataram Nahi. This is the Mangala Shloka from the text Ragaratnakara. Nada Brahma is Omkara, and our ancient sages had devised several musical patterns emanating from the Omkara for chanting the Vedic hymns and for producing spiritual effects. The Shastric schools of music discovered musical octave indwelling on the subtle sounds of nature and invented the basic classical ragas for activating specific streams of natural powers and effects. Since then, music has been an integral part of human culture with varied applications and forms. Ragas and their importance. Ragas are the life force of Indian music. A raga is so called because it tinges or colors the minds of all living beings, says sage Matanga in Raga Vibodha. Yo also Dvani Visheshastu Swaravarna Vibhushitaha Ranjako Janachittanam Saragaha Katito Budaihi. Raga, a component of music, is a unique set of selected notes. It provides immense creative potential for improvisation. A given raga can have various effects. Bhava, another component, is the emotion conveyed and is the essence which instills life to the raga scale. One of the unique characteristics of Indian music is the assignment of definite times of the day and night for performing raga melodies. It is believed that only in this period the raga appears to be at the height of its melodic beauty and majestic splendor. In the Raga Vibodha of Somanatha, the relevant time for rendering a raga is mentioned in chapter 5 in the following verse. I've mentioned the verse in this slide. Similarly, in the same chapter, verses 2 to 6 give the list of the ragas as follows. So whatever I have underlined here are the names of the ragas like Shankara Bhushana, Todi, Bahuli, Saurashtrika. All these are names of the ragas and the specific times as to when their beauty will be at the most maximum has also been given in this text. When it comes to Hindustani classical music, ragas in Hindustani classical music relate to different seasons as well. Seasonal ragas can be performed anytime, day or night during that season. Summer in India is not pleasant and its scorching heat is reflected through the raga Deepak. Megh and Malhar are for the rainy season. Ragas and chakras of the human body. The original ragas of the Indian classical music are created according to the deep knowledge of harmonious consonants between the 7 swaras and the 7 chakras that operate inside the body. So the swaras of the musical octave and the related chakras with their respective elements are as follows. So you can please go through this table that I have given, showing the swaras, the chakras, and the elements that they represent. Now moving on to the psychological effects of some ragas. The object of a raga is to express a certain emotional mood and sentiment without any reference to time and season. The nature and intensity of emotions undergo a continuous change from dawn to dusk. It is thus in accordance with the principle of consonance to establish all arts resting on human feelings in direct relation to the emotions. So when it comes to psychological effects, the psychic balance offered by ragas to the human sensitivity and ability to handle deep emotions and stress that is prevalent in day-to-day life are dealt with. Now, I have just mentioned a few ragas, giving the predominant sentiments that they evoke and the best season when they can be sung. So I have presented all these. I just show this one and then move on to the further. The first one I've taken is the Maya Malava Gaula. This is this raga can be called as gateway to the Carnatic music. Auspicious raga that evokes the sentiment of Shanta, Karuna. It has totally a relaxing and meditating effect and also evokes Bhakti Rasa. It is generally prescribed for Shishira Rutu, the auspicious Dhanur Masa. Practicing this raga in the early hours of the morning in the midst of nature will enhance the strength of the vocal cords. So then I've given Ananda Bhairavi, Sahana. I've taken some Carnatic, South Carnatic ragas. This Arabi, Varali, Hindola, Yamuna Kalyan. So I've given the seasons, the basic, the sentiments that they evoke, I've mentioned. Then now I move on to music therapy and medicine. There are several historical examples of the immense remedial power of Shastric ragas. For instance, in 1933, when the Italian dictator Mussolini was terribly suffering from insomnia, no medicine or therapeutic mode could get him good sleep. Pandit Omkarnath Thakur, a great Shastric musician, was visiting Europe at that time. When he heard of Mussolini's affliction, he agreed to perform remedial music program to allay the latter's suffering. His performance of Rag Puriya indeed worked magically, and Mussolini went into deep sleep within half an hour. Not only psychological impact, but also somatic or physiological impact of ragas have come to light in some recent works. For instance, stomach-related disorders are said to be cured with some Hindustani ragas like Deepak. Then Malkauns or Hindola for intestinal gas and for controlling fevers. For headaches, relaxing with ragas like Darbari Kanda, Sohini said to be beneficial. Then who suffer from hypertension, ragas like Ayur Bhairavi, Todi are prescribed. Controlling anger, Carnatic ragas like Kunnagavarali, Sahana, all these come to help. The listener will not only have a sound sleep, but will also improve the power of immunity against attacks of diseases.
Sankhepena, Antimam.
Yes, sir. Yes, I'm finishing it. So then there is Raga Chikitsa, an ancient manuscript, deals with therapeutic effects of Indian ragas. The library at Tanjavur is reported to contain such a treasure on ragas that spells out the application and use of various ragas in fighting common ailments. Dr. Sairam, in his book Raga Therapy, refers to certain ragas having a therapeutic value when played in certain instruments. The credit, he says, goes to the unique texture of sound. Then we finally go on to some recent trends in therapeutic music. Meera Center for Music Therapy Education and Research, Bangalore, established in the year 1988, is an organization where music is being imparted with a holistic approach. The objective of this institution is to help differently able children evolve through music. 3 dimensions of approach: music as a promoter of human values, music as a promoter of mental health and therapeutic intervention, music as an agent of spirituality. Then we have this Apollo Research and Innovation, a department of the Apollo hospitals, which deals with research in music therapy and how it helps in better treatment of patients as opposed to treatment without music. Finally, we have Ramana Sandritya Alaya, or Rasa, in Chennai, founded in 1989 by Dr. Ambika Kameshwar, a noted rehabilitation professional, unique organization which focuses on the holistic development of each individual through experiences of music, dance, drama, storytelling, arts, and crafts. To conclude, music triggers whole brain processes and functioning, which directly affect a person's cognitive, emotional, and physical functions and abilities. With latest advances in neuroplasticity models, music have become a core strategy for rehabilitation and education programs in many nursing homes. From a social and cultural perspective, music permeates Indian society. Therefore, it is but natural to extend the scope of music by selecting appropriate ragas for music therapy. To be precise, Raga Chikitsa or Raga therapy does have its roots in the age-old traditions, but this very practice came into being in modern times. Thank you. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to present my paper, sir. Thank you very much.
धन्यवादः। इतः परं प्रतीक मिश्र महोदय। इतः परं डॉक्टर मधु संस्कृत साहित्य में संगीत डॉक्टर मधु नहीं है क्या? डॉक्टर मधु ठीक है, वो भी नहीं। डॉक्टर एन शशिधरन नहीं, ठीक है। इसके बाद डॉक्टर पीसी मुरलीधरन।
नमस्ते महोदय। अहमत्र भवामि। अहमत्र भवामि।
दिवस दो दिवस रहेगा। द्वितीयमपि तत्र यन्त्रं समीपे वर्तते चेत् समीचीनं नागच्छति। यन्त्रम् एकमेव यन्त्रं स्थापयतु।
अहम् अत्र भवामि महोदय। महोदय
आरम्भं करोतु।
अस्तु महोदय अस्तु। ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां हयग्रीवमुपास्महे। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्री लक्ष्मी हयवदन परब्रह्मणे नमः। Mahodaya, are you able to hear my voice?
आम शृणोम्यहम्।
अस्तु अस्तु।
श्रूयते श्रूयते।
अस्तु। First, I would like to thank the organizers of the esteemed university. I would like to the chairperson, Dr. Raghunath Nepal, my humble pranams to the chairperson, Dr. Raghunath Nepal. I am Dr. P.C. Muralidharan, working as assistant professor in the Kuppuswamy Shastri Research Institute, Mylapore, Chennai. I am here to present the paper titled Kunapa Jala, an ancient Indian technique for nourishing the flora. Kunapa Jala stands for the nourishment of trees, which cannot be done without dispelling the ailments affecting it. The seed of nourishing the trees through the elimination of diseases can be found as early in the Atharva Veda. In Atharva Veda, second Kanda, 8th Sukta, 3rd mantra, it is there. In Sanskrit lexicography, references pertaining to the term Kunapa, Kunapaha Putigandho Shave Picha, which means a corpse smelling like a dead body, stinking. Surapala, known for his knowledge on agricultural science, who lived in the 1000 CE with the foreseeing vision, intent to protect the fertility of the soil in its present this text dealing on subjects like pest, manuring, etc. Surapala suggests a few steps to be incorporated in the preparation of the same with the organs sourced from some of the animals of dead ones and the animal waste such as urine, excreta from the living ones, which act as a biofertilizer. The nourishment of the plants and trees has been explained by the author in about 64 verses, that is from the verses 101 to 164 in the Vriksha text. Though the number of animals initially appear to be restricted by the author to a few, however, he expands the scope later by mentioning about a few more species, among which the horned ones are also included. Further, it is not specified with regard to the particular organs of animals to be used, nor the items stated in the verses are to be of specific quantity. Emphasis is given on boiling the water, which is mixed up of animal organs for ensuring better preservation. Blood, bones of the animals are also included along with the other organs. Items such as honey, ghee, black gram, etc. meant for cooking, normally used at homes, are also among the things taken up for the Kunapa Jala preparation. The application of this manure for a better yield is not only confined to the particular tree species, according to the author, while explaining the production augmenting techniques, by means of Kunapajala, it is extended to those which include creepers, flowering, and even vegetable plants. Due to lack of time, I'm not going too deep into reading those verses and all. Okay, so please bear with me. Similarly, the grapekeeper will be looked at so brilliantly with flowers and fruits if its roots are nourished with powdered excreta of cocks and sprinkled with water mixed with fish fat. Shargadhara, who lived between 1283 to 1301 CE, a scholar who adorned the court of King Hammira of Shakambari Desha, now the model Bundelkhand, is the author of the text Shargadhara Paddhati, in which a chapter called Upavana Vinoda, which deals with arbori horticulture. So in which it is stated that a decoction, a description on the preparation for pomegranate trees has been given. A decoction made up of clarified butter, kunapa water, vacha, and pig stool is extremely favorable to the development of fruits of dadima trees. And water or decoction made up of powders of kulatta, that is horse gram, is favorable to the roots of the same tree. If one waters a fruitful kadamba or nagakeshara tree with a compound liquid made up of curd, fermented rice water, wine made out of rice, plum, sesamum, menthi, kunapa water, and wine prepared from sugar and milk, they are sure to innumerable fragrant flowers. Apart from this, he has given the description how to rise up the trees like wine tree, jackfruit tree, and side tree, plum tree by using the Kunapajala. Even the Sishu tree also, using the Kunapajala, how to rise, it is given. The Brihat Samhita, which is an encyclopedic text, does not offer a detailed interpretation on the preparation of Kunapajala, nor its preservation, unlike the text Vriksha Ayurveda and Shargadhara Paddhati. It even lacks of an elaborate examination on the procedures to be part of the composition of different materials used in the Kunapa water, depending on the varied species of plants, trees, shrubs, etc., as highlighted in the text Vriksha Ayurveda and Shargadhara Paddhati, then the mere general reference highlighting its usefulness on plants, trees, etc. To increase the yield of flowers, fruits of trees, creepers, and shrubs, they should be sprinkled constantly with a mixture of an adaka, of the powder of the dung of goats as well as of sheep, 1 adaka of sesamum powder, a prastha of wheat particles, a tula of beef, and a drona of water kept for 7 nights. In Shukraniti, Shukracharya says that that text also, which offers the remedial measures which are suggested by Shukracharya to enhance the growth of plants and trees, but not as exhaustively as Vriksha Ayurveda text. In line of other texts like Agni Purana that offers suggestions on the methods for improving the production of flowers and fruits on plants and trees by using the animal waste, organs, etc. This text goes to the extent of prescribing the time duration with which the Kunapa water can be kept safely, while being suggestive on the application of this manure on the plants. Then the application and the benefits of this liquid organic manure, which remained so popular among the people of ancient times, were appreciated by James Mollison, an agricultural scientist of 20th century. He does not make a direct reference to the Kunapajala word, nor does he cover all of the constituents of this manure in his text, known as the Textbook on Indian Agriculture. He holds an extensive discussion on some of the components of Kunapajala, like the animal feces, urine, bone, fish, and oil cake. Though he does not mention the animal organs directly, but makes a passing reference on the residue of animal organs sourced from the slaughterhouses, as mentioned above, while listing out the benefits of organic manuring. He succinctly explains on the usefulness of bones used as manure, and it holds the highly nourishing agents such as nitrogen, phosphate, etc. needed by plants. Like Shurapala and Sharangadhara, he too advocates boiling of bones, which is beneficial for plants and trees. He makes an analysis of the nutritional value on the basis of its chemical properties by quoting the observation of the two scientists, Dr. Walliker and Dr. Leather, whose analysis gets differed from one another slightly. The latter's findings on the basis of the three varieties of seeds, that is white, red, and black. Water, oil, these are the chemical properties which the bones and other, these are the chemical properties which the oil cake, sesame oil cake contains. Water, oil, albuminate compounds, carbohydrates, and digestible fiber, woody fiber, mineral matter, and ash, nitrogen, and sand. On the basis of Dr. Leather's observation, moisture, oil, albuminates, carbohydrates, woody fiber, ash, nitrogen, P2O5, sand, CaO, and alkalis. These are taken from Global Journal of Research on Medicinal Plants and Indigenous Medicine. Modern day scientists have tried their hands upon developing this biofertilizer, perhaps after drawing inspiration from the ancient sages using the organs of different species, and have achieved a significant success also. The preparation of this biofertilizer by a scientist of recent times contains the chemical properties of meat of animals such as rat, fish, goat, its blood, chicken as nitrogen contains 4.8%, potassium 11.7%, and phosphorus 3.9%. Majumdar, in his translation book Upavana Vinoda, quotes Dr. Seals, the translation of Brihat Samhita text. By quoting the Dr. Seals translation, he says that Dr. Seals concludes these elaborate recipes are empirical contrivances for supplying the plant with the requisite nitrogen compounds, phosphates, etc., these being potentially contained in the mixtures and infusions prescribed. Finally, I would like to conclude. Scientists of late, using the Kunapajala technique, have found a remarkable growth in the medicinal plants such as senna, langali. Mango, coconut trees, and chili plants, the non-medicinal ones too, witnessed an exponential growth after the application of herbal kunapa, according to Aingara Srinivasa. He tried his hands with the Kukkuta kunapa, that is kunapajala made from poultry, on kiwi fruits whose yield went manifold several times. That is, from between November 2004 to November 2005, the yield is 120 kg to 1700 kg. A local brinjal variety in Karnataka region known as Butai also saw its tremendous growth after the application of Kunapajala. This manure was also recommended to the paddy plants with the composition of barley, black gram, sesame seed, green gram measuring 10 gram each, mixed in hot water after allowing it to cool, and was applied on paddy plant in the duration of 10, 15, 20, and 25 days, which witnessed excellent results. With this, let me conclude. I thank all the organizers. I thank the chairperson for having given me this wonderful opportunity to share some of my thoughts regarding the Kunapajala, that is liquid organic manure, with you. Namaste.
नमो नमः. धन्यवादः. समीचीनं मुरलीधर महोदयाय धन्यवादः. इतः परं डॉक्टर स्मृति सरकार अत्र वर्तते. स्मृति सरकार, the knowledge of agriculture in the Vedas. नास्ति वा? स्मृति सरकार. तर्हि अन्तिमः वर्तते सुषमा सरेन, अथर्ववेद संहितायां कृषि. सुषमा सरेन.
सर्वेभ्यः नमो नमः. Sir, I am audible?
Yes.
Okay, sir.
श्रूयते. वदतु.
मम विषयः अथर्वेद संहितायां कृषिः। कृषिः मानवजीवनस्य आधारः। कृषितः अन्नं प्राप्तं। कृषिकार्य भूमि वर्षा च आवश्यकं भवति। अतः वेदे वेदे विविधानि
चित्रं प्रदर्श्य वदतु।
क्षम्यतां महोदय, not able to वेदे युक्तं दराज्ञः चत्वारि कर्तव्यानि सन्ति। तेषु एकं कृषिः सुधार आसीत्। राज्ञः वेनस्य पुत्रः पृथिवी पृथुः कृषि आविष्कारकः इति कथ्यते। सः अनेक विधान आहारान् उत्पादयन्ति स्म। अथर्वेद संहितायां विविधानि वर्णनानि सन्ति। तेषु लब्धकृषे अत्र चर्चा कृता अस्ति। मानवः सामाजिकप्राणिनः सन्ति। समाजे निवसन्ति विविधानि आहाराणि अपि च वस्त्राश्रय इत्यादयः आसन्। कृषिजनानां जीवनेन सह निकटतम सम्बन्धः अस्ति। अथर्वेदानुसारं सर्वेषां प्राणिनां जीवनस्य आधार अन्नम् अपि च पशवः एतत् कर्तुं न शक्नुवन्ति। यतः भूम्यां मनुष्याः जीवन्ति श्रद्धयान्नेन मर्ताः। ब्रह्माण्डे वर्णस्य उत्पत्तिः तत्क्षणमेव अन्नं समस्या आसीत्। अतः अन्नं वेदस्य जगतः मुख्य समस्या इति वर्णितम्। एवं समाधानं कृषि यथा कटुधुन्यम् इन्द्रं तावते निरङ्कया करस्य कन्या आगतमित्र स सत्यं मृगाय भृत्या अन्ये समस्या संमनीषा कृते कृषिः गौरवस्य विषय इति वर्णते स्म। तत्र वर्णितानि देवा इन्द्रपूषा च इति। अस्मिन् विषये इन्द्र सीतां निगृह्णातु तां कुशाभिः सा न पश्यति दुहामुत्तरा उत्तरा स्वान्। इन्द्रः सीतायाः हारपङ्क्तिशिकारः पूषा देवता संरक्षतु। एताः पङ्क्तयः अस्माकम् अभाव फलेन सिद्ध्यन्ति। प्रतिवर्षं सुखं ददन्तु। कृषका अतः कृषका पंडिता च कृषिकार्यं कुर्वन्ति स्म। ते कृषिं च सस्यां च मनुष्या उपजीवन्ति। कृष्ट आधारूप युवनाय भवति य एवं वेदः। एतेषां कृषि सस्यानां कारणात् मनुष्यः जीवति। य एवं यनाति कृषिकुशलः अस्ति स कृषिकर्मण सम्पूर्ण जीवनं यापयन्ति। ऋग्वेदे अथर्ववेदे च ज्ञायन्ते यत् राज्ञो वेनस्य पुत्रः पृथिः कृषेः प्रथम आविष्कारकः आसीत्। सर्वेषां जनानां जीवनम् आहारम् आश्रितम् अस्मिन् विषये। तस्य मनुवैवस्यत वत्स आसीत् पृथिवीपात्रम्। विराजस्ति सभरा असन्न नेदि इत श्रीण्यवक्कायवन्। कृषका ज्वालस्य हलान् स्थापयन्तु शस्यं खादितं धानं यवादिकं रोपयेत्। यवादि भोजनं शीघ्रम् अस्मिन् स्थाने उत्पादयतम्। पुनरेदं
संक्षेपेण अत्र साररूपेण वदतु, निष्कर्षरूपेण किं
आम् महोदय। कृषि निर्माणे गृह निर्माणे विविध ज्ञात गृहस्य स्तम्भ निरीक्षणं कुर्वान् बृहस्पति शोभित वायु इन्द्रस्य निर्माणं करत। अतः कृषि विशेषं महत्त्वम् अस्ति। वेदे ऋग्वेदे अपि कृषिस्वरेण उक्तम् अक्षय महादिव्य कृषिमित्किसस्स अतः मानव जीवने कृषिकर्मम् अतीव गौरवशाली कार्यम् आसीत्। धन्यवादः महोदय।
धन्यवादः। सर्वेपि भवन्तः सहभागिनः धन्यवादार्हः सन्ति। ओम तच्चंजोरावृणीमहे गातुं यज्ञाय गातुं यज्ञपतये दैवी स्वस्तिरस्तु नः स्वस्तिर्मानुषेभ्यः ऊर्ध्वं जिगातु भेषजं सन्नो अस्तु द्विपदे संचतुष्पदे हरिः ओम शांति शांति शांति। नमः सभाभ्यः समुपस्थिताः सर्वे विद्वांसः शोधपत्राणि प्रस्तोतुं समागताः सर्वे शोधार्थिनः। अत्र असम विश्वविद्यालयस्य संस्कृत विभागेन समायोजितायाम् अस्याम् अन्ताराष्ट्रीय संगोष्ठ्यां संस्कृत ग्रंथेषु संस्कृत वाङ्मये वा विज्ञानं प्रविधिश्च इति विषयम् अवलम्ब्य वयं सर्वेपि चर्चां कृतवन्तः। इदानीम् अद्य दिने बहूनां पत्राणाम् अत्र वाचनम् अभूत्। बहुभिः विद्वद्भिः अत्र अनुसन्धाय शोधकार्यं विधाय बहुषु विषयेषु स्वकीयं शोधपत्रं बहुभिः विद्वद्भिः प्रस्तुतम्। अस्माकं संस्कृतिः विपुला वर्तते। अस्माकं संस्कृतेर्मूलम् अपि संस्कृत भाषा एव वर्तते। संस्कृत वाङ्मये संस्कृत ग्रंथेषु वेदाद् आरभ्य काव्यादि पर्यन्तेषु सर्वेष्वपि ग्रंथेषु वैज्ञानिकाः विषयाः वर्तन्ते। न केवलं धर्म विषय मात्रं व्यवहार विषय मात्रं वा अत्र वर्तन्ते। वस्तुतः मानव जीवनस्य अभ्युदयाय वैज्ञानिकाः अपि बहवः विषयाः अत्र प्रतिपादिताः वर्तन्ते इति एवं सर्वमपि विद्वद्भिः प्रतिपादितम्। वेदे वेदादि अन्येषु शास्त्रेषु च लौकिकाः विषयाः अपि यही अस्माकं जीवनं समृद्धं सुखमयं च भवेत् तादृशाः विषयाः अत्र प्रतिपादिताः वर्तन्ते इति सत्यमेव। अतएव अयं विषयः अस्माकं संस्कृत ग्रंथेषु विद्यमानः विषयः महान् वर्तते। एतेषां वैज्ञानिकानां विषयाणां यथार्थतया अन्वेषणं गवेषणम् अनुसन्धानं विधाय अस्माभिः अस्माकं देशस्य गौरवं स्थापनीयं भवति। अस्माकं देशस्य गौरवं नाम गुरुदेशः कथं सम्भवति इति चेत् अत्रत्याः ये विषयाः वर्तन्ते अत्र विद्यमानाः बीजरूपेण विद्यमानाः ये वैज्ञानिकाः विषयाः वर्तन्ते तान् आदायैव इदानीन्तनैः वैज्ञानिकैः अपि समृद्धिः अवाप्ता वर्तते। अतः अस्माकं यत् शास्त्रं वर्तते तेषां महत् स्थानं वर्तते। अस्माकं शास्त्रस्यैव ज्ञातारः विश्वस्मिन् विश्वे तत्र मार्गदर्शकाः अभूवन्। इदानीमपि तेषां शास्त्राणां गहनतया अध्ययनम् अनुसन्धानं च भवेत् तर्हि अस्माकं पुनरपि गुरुत्वम् आगच्छेत् अस्माकं देशे। अतएव मनुना उक्तं पूर्वम् एतद्देश प्रसूतस्य सकाशात् अग्रजन्मनः स्वं स्वं चरित्रं शिक्षेरन् पृथिव्यां सर्वमानवाः। नाम अस्मिन् भारतवर्षे ये समुत्पन्नाः अग्रजन्मानः महर्षयः एव सर्वान् अपि पृथ्वीस्थान् मानवान् शिक्षितवन्तः, मार्गं प्रदर्शितवन्तः। एतादृशी गौरवपूर्णा भावना, तादृशाः गौरवपूर्णाः विषयाः अस्माकं पार्श्वे वर्तन्ते। तेषाम् अध्ययनम् अनुसन्धानं च अस्माभिः विधातव्यम्। इदानीम् अस्माकं कालः सुवर्णमयः कालः वर्तते। मध्यकाले प्रायः अस्माकं मुक्तप्रायः आसीत्। अस्माकं शास्त्रेषु विद्यमानाः अपि विषयाः अनुसन्धानं विना प्रायः लुप्तप्रायः विषयाः आसन्। इदानीं पुनः जनानाम् अभिरुचि इदानीं वर्तते। वैदेशिकाः अपि अस्माकं भारतीय साहित्यं, भारतीय वाङ्मयं, अस्माकं वैदिकं शास्त्रम् इदानीं पठन्तः वर्तन्ते, अधीयानः वर्तन्ते। अतः अस्माकमपि कर्तव्यं वर्तते अस्माकं शास्त्रेषु विद्यमानं निगूढं तत्त्वं। यतोहि अस्माकं शास्त्रे लौकिकम् अभ्युदयं पारमार्थिकं च निःश्रेयसं द्वयमपि वर्तते। यतो अभ्युदय निःश्रेयस सिद्धिः स धर्मः इति कणाद मुनिः प्रोक्तवान्। नाम यस्मात् तत्र लोकस्य अभ्युत्थानं भवति, समृद्धिर्भवति, लोके सर्वत्र सुख शान्तिः समृद्धिः जायन्ते, समृद्धयः जायन्ते। तादृशाः विषयाः अपि अस्माकं शास्त्रेषु वर्तन्ते। पुनः निःश्रेयसरूपं मोक्षरूपं विषयं तु अस्माकं पार्श्वे एव वर्तते। अतएव अस्माकं शास्त्रम् अत्यन्तं परिपूर्णं वर्तते। एवं विचार्य अस्माभिः अनुसन्धानं निरन्तरं विधातव्यम् इत्येवं उक्त्वा अद्यतनस्य इदानीन्तनस्य सत्रस्य सभाध्यक्षरूपेण सभाध्यक्षरूपेण वर्तमानः अयं जनः इमां सभां समापयति। नमो नमः। सर्वेभ्यो धन्यवादाः। ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ओम शांति शांति शांति। नमो नमः। एते संचालकाः अत्र धन्यवाद ज्ञापनं।
नमो नमः सर्वेभ्यः। अत्र अस्माकं समक्षे एतावत् पर्यन्तं ये आसन् सत्राध्यक्षरूपेण अत्र सुचारुरूपेण अत्र चालितवन्तः सत्रम्। अतः तेभ्यः महोदयेभ्यः डॉक्टर रघुनाथ नेपाल महोदयेभ्यः हार्दं कार्तज्ञं व्याहरामि। तथा च अत्र सोपस्थिताः आन्तर्जालिकमाध्यमेन अपि ते सम्यक्तया स्वस्व शोधपत्रं प्रस्तुतवन्तः। तेभ्यः सर्वेभ्यः अहं धन्यवादं ज्ञापयामि। तथा अन्ये ये शोधपत्रं प्रस्तुतं न कृतवन्तः परन्तु तेन सम्यक्तया अत्र उपविश्य भाषणं श्रुतवन्तः, तेभ्यः अहं हार्दं कार्तज्ञं व्याहरामि। अन्येपि अत्र ये सहायकाः आसन्, यान्त्रिक सहायकरूपेण अत्र आसन्, तेभ्यः अपि सर्वेभ्यः अहं कार्तज्ञं व्याहरामि। धन्यवादः। अत्र संगोष्ठी जायमाना अस्ति। अत्र दर्शन विभागे अस्ति। अत्र परिवेश वातावरणं निर्माणं कृतं तैः अथ अवसरः प्रदत्तः दर्शन विभागेन। अहं दर्शन विभागस्य अत्र आचार्यः ए नटराज महोदयेभ्यः तथा अन्येपि दर्शनस्य शोधार्थिभ्यः अहं धन्यवादं ज्ञापयामि। धन्यवादः। एका सूचना अस्ति। पुनः श्वः प्रातः 10:30 पुनः सत्रं सञ्चाल्यते, अतः सर्वेषाम् उपस्थिति कामये अहम् इति एव सूचना अस्ति। धन्यवादः।